Welcome everyone to District Divided, a district's. See, I can't even speak. I can't even speak. Terry Mclaurin requested a trade. Okay, that's the deal right now. Welcome to District Divided, DC Sports Podcast, more specifically Washington Commanders Podcast. I'm Amit. That's K-Dot. We literally just finished recording our usual one-a-week episode during the offseason, and we had entertained the possibility of a trade. And then, as we're in our comment mailbag, K-Dot, scrolling his phone just to make sure that there's no news breaking, indeed find some breaking news. And it is that Terry Mclaurin has requested a trade. You can see that from, I believe we have one of the tweets, K-Dot, that it's either Jordan Schultz or Adam Schefter, or one of them, but everyone started tweeting this. Thank you. So you can see Schefter's tweet here that he has indeed requested a trade from the Washington Commanders as Terry continues to be frustrated at the lack of contract talks. And that was the case when he did the Eastern Motors little commercial shoot and then talked to the media for 32 minutes and then continued as he held out, now holding in. Sounds like they're still not talking. This is the next piece that occurs typically, is the player requesting a trade. K-Dot, your immediate reaction as we show some of the comments here. Shout out DMV Football Gauntlet for joining us here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this to me is all just part of the process. Like, I think Adam Schefter also has in his latest tweet, over the past 2 years, at least 3 wide receivers requested trades: T. Higgins, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. None were traded in the year in which they made the request. I think that this is just, as I've been kind of keeping things schmedium throughout this process, and like, nothing's changed all that much for me, like from the beginning to this particular point. Like, where I still see the numbers itself should be compared to where it is that I think Terry's probably looking at himself. It just, to me, it feels as though this is supposed to be the part of the process and the way that it kind of happens. One person says one number, another person says another number. You try to meet in the middle. And from everything that they've said, from the Eastern Motors presser to everything else, they have not been communicating. So I think the onus is more on Terry's camp to communicate than there's anything on Adam Peters' camp. And as far as anything from a trade request standpoint or anything as far as the Eastern Motors thing, this is all Terry driven. Like, the organization has not said shit about shit. We didn't know about the Von Miller thing until it happened. We weren't entirely sure about the Jaden Daniels thing until it happened. Like, they keep shit under wraps. So I don't think they're playing any games in the media or anything. It's just an unfortunate situation. We got a player that we all have grown to absolutely love and adore. He's the consummate teammate. He outperforms anything anybody expects him to do from a physicality standpoint. And if we're looking at what his output is, he probably got underpaid the last few years. That being said, he's about to be 30 years old. There's no true real comp for him, and you don't want to pay him $33 million a year. And I understand that. So it's just one of those unfortunate situations.
Yeah, reviewing some of the facts and the timeline for how we got here. So, of course, Terry had an absolutely magnificent season last season. And when you include the postseason numbers, you're looking at 1,323 yards. I'm doing this from memory, 16 touchdowns. Unbelievable year, right? And now he's entering the last year of his deal. And similar to what he did the last time he was on a contract, he, entering the last year, said, I want a new deal. In that case, he did get it, the 3 years, $68 million. That was with a different front office. Here we are with Adam Peters in this front office. And so now we find out during June, July, that they're not really talking. This is when Terry speaks for the first time, right? Publicly. We were like, oh, they're not talking at all. Okay. Well, this idea that we were going to have this all done by training camp, out the window now. They're not speaking. They're not suddenly just going to get it done. Now, what's he looking for? Lake Lewis reports that he thinks it's going to be between 32 and 34 million a year. Adam Schefter goes considerably more than DK Metcalf is what he thinks. DK Metcalf, 4 years, $132 million. That's 33 million a year. Okay, so now Terry's looking at that range, 32 to 34, maybe even 35, right? Are the reports that we are getting from various national media members. On the flip side, Jeremy Fowler goes on, DMV Football Gauntlet, shout out if you're still with us here. Matthew Heiserman's pod, like and subscribe to his channel, please. And he goes, hey, it looks like it's just going to be a slight increase is what the team is looking at right now. Terry being on 23 a year, it looks like 25 is what they're looking at. Jeremy Fowler then goes on the Junkies and basically confirms, yeah, we're looking at about 25 there. So when we look at 25 million per from the team, when we look at the 33 to 34 million that Terry's looking for, Okay, well, that's very, very far apart. And they're also not talking. That's how you get here. July 31st, 2025, with Terry McLaurin requesting a trade. So, K-Dot, we had talked about it on our regular show, which will come out tomorrow, 2 p.m. But for right now, you said it doesn't change anything. Does it speed anything up to you? Or do you think, hey, Adam Peters goes, all right, let's play ball. I'll pick up the phone.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, once again, if you go back to that tweet that Adam Peters had with all those wide receivers that have requested trades, they're all fucking there, right? And the deal got done at some point, right? So, like, I still think that there's a chance the deal gets done. Once again, at first I thought we were looking at 25 team, 35 Terry, 30 is your seat spot. If it's 33, 34, as far as what Terry's asking for, the team's around 25. I still think yeah, damn right, Hawk.
It's a great comment there, Hawk.
But we shouldn't be. We should not be. It's just an unfortunate situation. You should be upset. Anyone who is a Commander fan should be upset by this. You should be upset by this. But you don't need to blame or hate Adam Peters or anybody for it. It's just a situation that's unfortunate. That's all of it. It's where we're at. I still think 28, 29 should be able to get something done. That's my opinion. That's what I think. When I look at Terry, I look at the other players. I'm trying to compare. There's no real good comparison. I still think that's a number that seems fair to me. If Terry's like 29 is an insult, F you. Bring on the trade, buddy. Like, let's go. Like, this is where we kind of get down to. And once again, at the end of the day, the only person I have any fault, the only time I haven't seen anything in this process I haven't necessarily like, other than the process itself, is Terry's camp saying shit and doing shit and Washington keeping mum. That's the way I think you should handle negotiation. I think people are trying to create leverage where I don't think there is any. I think that if the fan base wants to revolt around this particular issue, Godspeed, feel free, but I'm dead set that I hope Adam Peters is listening to you.
K-Dot, let me ask you this. So, okay, you're saying, hey, I don't like what Terry did with the Eastern Motors, advertisement, essentially, and then saying, oh, by the way, I'll answer questions after this, right?
Hold on, I'm very pro Eastern Motors.
No, of course.
I'm
actually
anti.
Yeah. That was my wording. I apologize. We all love Eastern Motors, just to be clear. But him doing the impromptu presser, 32 minutes, right? JP Finley put that out on YouTube. 32 minutes talking to the media, hitting all the emotional notes, right?
And he was hurt.
Okay.
You can see it.
So he was definitely hurt emotionally, right? Now the ankle.
Yeah. Don't find cameras when you're hurt. Everybody knows that shit. You want to be the asshole on Instagram putting up song lyrics? I've been that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Keep your mouth shut.
K-Dot, what I was going to ask you is this. So you're saying, hey, keep your mouth shut, right? Negotiate behind the scenes. Let's work something out. It doesn't need to get public like it did, right?
Yeah.
So if no one is talking, right? If no one is talking at all, how would you proceed with that?
I don't think Washington is under any obligations to talk right now. I think if you're what's the agent name? Buddha Baker. Bubba Baker. Bubba Baker. I know. I'm just gonna. I like Bubba. Bubba sounds better.
Sure, you can do it.
Bubba Baker. That just sounds like
he's not a popular guy in DC right now.
Man, Bubba Baker could walk into any one of your living room, smack the shit out of you, wouldn't know who the fuck Bubba Baker was. All right, so like, this sucks. I'm not gonna. It sucks. It sucks.
Of course, it sucks.
It sucks. But it's. Look, I'm not. Terry's doing what he needs to do and what he thinks he thinks he needs to do to go get the money. You even said on the pod that everybody should listen to tomorrow, and I don't want to spoil all of it, but there was a point that you made that I don't know, man. I'm in this territory where I'm afraid to say certain things. Not because I'm like afraid to say certain things, but it's like I don't want to be in that camp where I'm shitting on Terry McLaurin because I don't want to shit on Terry McLaurin. I want him to get his money. The thing that I hate, the thing I want to yell about is the salary cap. That's what I want to yell about. But I can't do that. I got to find out within the confines of whatever is happening. And I just think that it's happening more sloppily than it needs to be. The onus to me is on the agent and the player to then try to conversate when it comes to Adam Peters and those guys like, hey, I need a new deal. And I think it happens different ways. I think if you go the Brandon Ayuk route that happened last year, where we were all sitting here wondering whether he was going to come to DC, they probably weren't communicating. And I don't think a lot needs to necessarily be communicated at this particular point in time if Terry's at a number that's so far beyond what the team needs. People need to go back to their fucking corners and kind of figure this shit out. Doesn't really make sense to talk to each other if you don't have anything really to talk about, right? So somebody's opinion has to change. And right now, I think everybody's kind of dead set in their ways. Adam Peters, to me, looked a little more contrite, and I do think there's pressure on him in that building. I don't think Dan Quinn or Cliff Kingsbury or Jaden Daniels is telling Adam Peters, yeah, we don't care. We don't
No,
care.
in fact, on Sunday, and just shout out Jerry Withers over here. Terry's agent is messing Terry all up. This is sentiment shared by a large part of the fan base that Buddy Baker is in over his head when it comes to this negotiation. Once again, Buddy Baker, as a reminder for those that don't know, is the name of Terry McLaurin's agent. And Terry is far and away, head and shoulders above everybody else in terms of his ability to earn money, which, of course, if this is commission-based, Buddy Baker would like him to have as large a contract as possible. I lost my train of thought on the other thing. So real quick, Adam Schefter had mentioned it, and you had mentioned it, K-Dot. 3 receivers in just the past 2-3 years have requested a trade. It's T. Higgins, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
Now, none of them in that offseason got traded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, none of them. T. Higgins ends up with a new 4-year, $115 million deal. Mm-hmm. Deebo ends up with either a short-term contract or a raise or something along those lines. They go, let's go ahead and do this. And Brandon Ayuk gets his deal. Now, here's the thing. 3 very different paths for them. So T looks like he'll stay there for a while. Deebo's with us now after just 2 years, okay? And Brandon Ayuk was making a fuss again this offseason despite just being paid. And now the 49ers are going, do we keep him? So this is not just about the right now, because K-Dot made a really, really good point on the episode that's coming out tomorrow, 2 p.m. But in terms of the long-term relationship between the Commanders and Terry McLaurin, this is important, right? Even if a deal does get done, this moment right now, it's not going well, right? The team isn't really talking to Terry. Terry's not talking to the team, apparently. And in terms of their long-term good standing relationship, there's going to be work to be done, even if he does end up with a longer-term deal, K-Dot.
All right. I've been holding on to this one.
Go for it.
Do you remember when Eric Bieniemy chewed out Terry McLaurin?
Yes.
Do you remember what Terry was like that whole season?
I mean, there were moments where he was a little bit checked out and he was like, hey, we need to find our identity. I remember him talking about that. And we were 2-1 at the time, I want to say, but go ahead.
I didn't see a lot of smiles. I didn't see a lot of conversation. I didn't see anything anywhere close to what it is I typically seen with, like, when Taylor Heineke was throwing the football, or what I saw when it came to Jaden Daniels throwing the football last season, right? Night and day difference. I think Terry holds a lot of things really, really close to the heart. And I think that he's a guy that can be hurt. And I think that it is, I think what he looks at as far as a level of disrespect is something where once you cross that line with him, I don't know if you can get it back. So and to me is when I saw the Eastern Motors presser, what I saw was a dude that was legitimately hurt.
Yes.
Now I'm of the idea that most of the times, anytime I see an athlete kind of go there, they're kind of just bullshitting just to try to create leverage or whatever. But I don't think Terry has that in him to bullshit in that way. So when I saw that, all I knew was that even if a deal did get done, his time in Washington's up. It's up. And if I'm Adam Peters or anybody else, and I sign it, like, we can get him in the door for 28, 29 million or 30 million even, I still don't think he sees that last year of that contract here with us before he ends up somewhere else. I just don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. And look, at the end of the day, and me and you had the conversation on the main pod, but it's like, I can't prioritize. Look, is this team better with Terry McLaurin on it? You'd be a fucking idiot to say no, right? But is it make sense to pay him if, as Vindo pointed out, and as you've talked about ad nauseum here on the podcast, if Deebo outperforms Terry and they're in a situation where they got to look at these two guys around 30 years old and who it is going to pay, I don't want to be the Cincinnati Bengals. I love what they got in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on paper. They ain't sniffing the fucking Super Bowl because they can't even pay Trey Hendrickson because they're paying the wide receivers all that goddamn money. And if you look over the course of the history of football, look, there have been a lot of great wide receiver quarterback combos. But as far as dudes that, as far as the young kid coming in and you got the established veteran receiver that goes on to, like, win a bunch of championships, and you don't really have a lot of those situations, if any, right? It's either guys that come in and lead together, or it's a little different as far as the way it goes. But at the end of the day, I'd rather, like, we even talked about what I'm seeing out of training camp right now with Jaden Daniels as far as him taking the next step, as far as leadership, as far as what we're hearing about Jalen Lane and everything like that. It doesn't feel like spin to me. It doesn't feel like the team is saying all this shit to get people to like, hey, well, fuck the Terry McLaurin thing. I'm hearing it from the beat reporters that I trust. I'm hearing it for John Kahn. I'm hearing from all these other guys as far as what's happening with the locker room. And I think that right now is being afforded an opportunity where they're looking at Jaden and saying, like, the team is stepping up. Would we like Terry here? Yes, but we can still move on. And if we're going to trade Terry, which has to be the conversation of that's the title of the episode, do I trade Terry knowing that the long-term future of this team, Jaden Daniels is going to elevate anybody he has, and we'll try it again and go try to find somebody new? Does it mean we're going to find somebody at Terry's caliber? No. But is it worth the shot? Possibly. And you still have more money or assets to make the team better in other ways. Do I take that overall? Yes.
I still think it's incredibly important that Terry is on this team this coming year. It's something we had mentioned in the podcast coming out tomorrow at 2 p.m., that episode, that a quarterback's first couple years, specifically first two, it's very, very important to have continuity if you can afford to do it and allow him to develop, right? Jaden had an unbelievable, in fact, year that he had the best rookie season ever. Terry McLaurin was a very, very large part of that. Terry McLaurin is the guy that you can just sort of chuck it to because he's number one in contested catch rate. He's number one in contested catches, period. And he had 16 touchdowns. And he was the only one outside of De'Ami Brown, the wild card round, divisional round, that showed up in the wide receiver room. Because then against Philadelphia, when nobody else could do anything, he was the one that could do something. So it's incredibly important to Jaden Daniels' development, in my view, that we at least have one more year of Terry McLaurin. It's also got to be said that on Sunday, when Sports Center was at training camp, by the way, electric atmosphere at training camp. It was awesome. Back together weekend in the NFL. Sports Center doing their 50 states in 50 days. We're in Virginia. And so in Ashburn, they're interviewing Jaden. And before the interview even begins, he turns around to the fans that are watching it and he's hyping them up, leading the Terry chants, right? The players love Terry. The players absolutely love Terry. When he's walking out, Bobby Wagner showing him, bobbing his head as they're saying, Terry, Terry. They know how important he is. He is absolutely loved and adored in that locker room. But, if these guys aren't talking, ultimately his relationship with Jaden is incredibly important. The next most important one is the one with the front office. And so this is interesting for his long-term stuff. It's not in an irreparable spot to me just yet, K-Dot. But he is going to be on that wrong side of 30. And if the team goes, okay, we're the oldest roster in the league, we need to get younger, they're going to explore their options. I just think they are.
I think if they're in an irreconcilable spot, then Terry needs to kind of nut up, bud. You don't need to like the front office. I like the fact that Adam Peters is a human being. I like the fact that I can root for him on a human level. I don't give a fuck if he's likable. Be likable to other front offices to make sure trades happen. Be likable in contracts when it comes to the agents, and make sure that you're on the same page with everybody else in the organization. Beyond that, you are, sir, the suit. It's the same reason you don't try to get into business with family members or anybody else you really, really care about. Is when businesses are going to be made, it will start to impact shit. But once again, it's a job. You might love the job. You might be sacrificing yourself for the job, but it's a job. And this guy's job is to make sure that everybody gets paid in a way in which they can keep moving forward. So you got to do what you got to do. Look, once again, do I even think that the only thing I'm coupling the trade with is what I think I saw in Terry McLaurin in that presser, which is I think he really feels hurt. When I heard Brandon Ayuk, or I hear Deebo Samuel, or I hear TJ Watt, or I hear anybody else encounter people, I never really feel like that hurt. Like it's more like pay me, motherfucker. Like with right. Terry, it feels a little deeper than that. So like when I look at that, usually I'd hear player request trade, I'd be like, okay, it'll be a few weeks and you'll have your fucking contract. But if we're at a point in which it's like, hey, maybe I don't want to talk to them unless they're paying me this. Maybe I don't want to. I just think it's getting a little messy on one side compared to the other. That's all I'm saying. I just think it gets a little messy on one side compared to the other. And I do think right now, if you're Terry and you want to hold out or hold in until week 1, and you want to bet against Jaden Daniels, making some of the other guys look good, Godspeed. I'm not doing that, but you can do that. Look, the other part of it is, and somebody wrote this here in the
sure, I can pull it up.
I got it. Yeah, see, I can do it too. This is reminding me a little bit of Bradley Beal. It's just a tiny bit. Ooh, which is I disagree. No one wants to look. I'll tell you right now, everybody in town thought one thing, was thought a lot better about Bradley Beal when John Wall was there. And when John Wall left and we had Bradley, and it was like, oh, can he be the top banana on the team? And we learned real fucking quick. He wasn't no goddamn top banana. Terry's a different boat in the sense of, hey, the dude has performed at a level. He's performed when there's like been shit around him, all kinds of stuff, right? As much as I love him, as much as he's been great, I ain't win no goddamn Super Bowls yet. So nobody's sacred.
But that's not his fault. See, like,
I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him. I'm saying that the idea is, if you're going to give this man $30-something million a year in a season in which Deebo Samuel could arguably have better stats than him at the end of the year, do I think it's going to happen? No, but is it possible? Yes. And then you have two receivers at 30-something years old that you've got to figure out. Do I think Deebo Samuel works as a better fit in the Cliff Kingsbury offense? Yes, I do. And if that's going to be the case, what do? You've already set a precedent when it comes to Terry, and maybe you got a dude that's more plugged into what it is that's happening in offense. Are you going to pay both of them? Because then I'd be angry.
I think that's the plan, by the way. So, but I think it's at whatever the team-friendly amount is, which is why they're so far apart.
I'd say I'd agree with you on that, but that's what I'm saying. To set the precedent at $33 million and then walking into the conversation with Deebo Samuel, you just fucked yourself. If you want to keep it at the $28 million at tops, we can entertain something, right? We can start talking about this, because once again, you have a Deebo Samuel, you have a Terry McLaurin, and what you're hoping if you're Adam Peters in the team is that you have all these young guys in the Luke McCaffreys, in the Jalen Lanes will step up, and you'll have something, right? That's the key. But right now, they're just kind of like Terry was by far the best thing on that offense outside of Jaden Daniels last year, and I think with the comparison target was what Terry had 114, 117 targets, and the second was Zacchaeus with like 60.
Yeah, might have been Noah Brown actually, and he missed like a whole lot of that.
Part of it's a volume thing. Part of it also needs to take consideration that, like, hey, Terry did all that shit when the focus was on him as the number one receiver. What happens when he's got some better talent around him that can potentially open things up? Maybe he gets even better. We don't know. My whole point is, I can't look across the league history. I just can't, and say that it's usually a great idea to pay a receiver around 30 years old a third contract in which you're paying an absorbent amount of money.
This is where we get into the tread and the tires. It's his 6th year, or now going to be his 7th
Not even talking about that. Not even talking about that.
But that's a part of the conversation.
I get it. And but yes, you did a good job. And people should go back 2 episodes ago where you started doing the comparisons about other receivers around 30 years old across the history of the league. That's not my point. My point is, I care about Super Bowls in Washington.
Right.
And I'm looking at the way the contracts is that with the way the quarterback situation is, and what else you need to build on the team. And if you start looking at some of these players or some of these teams in which maybe they did pay, their defense is with a much better position. They were a much younger team across a lot of other things, and the quarterback situation was a little bit different. I'm just saying, for this particular thing, if I'm Adam Peters, yeah, the fans might hate me, but I'm not rushing to pay him $30+ million a year. I just can't do it.
Right, but I do think that it's very important that he's on the team this year, because Super Bowl is a possibility this year. It's crazy to say, but it is, right? Especially, a lot of this depends on the defense to me, right? Oh, if the defense ends up being not just average, but above average, and right now there is a juice developing with them, at least when I saw him in person, there's a juice developing with this defense. Year 2 of Dan Quinn, year 2 of Joe Witt Jr., more talent, more pieces that they want here, right? We're talking about a Super Bowl window right now. And to be able to do that in year 2 of Jaden Daniels, right? Now you can do something this year. And now that he is established, because I think after 2 years, especially if you have 2 good years, you were established, then you can move pieces around. The other thing I'm thinking about, K-Dot, is that with Terry, what you could do is, you've talked about 28, 29 million, right? So if you do that for 3 years and give him a raise this year, such that he's making up the difference to get to that 30 million mark, that could also work, right? Like, maybe, just maybe, it's like, hey, okay, we'll give you an extra 7-8 million this year. That'll count against the cap, right? But we have the cap space for that. And you are going to get 3 years, 84, right? So that's your 28 a year, I want to say, with 60 of that guaranteed, or so the first 2 years guaranteed. After that, if you want to trade him next offseason, but my thing is make sure Jaden is established first and foremost, and it could end up. Oh, here we go. Jerry Withers saying, agree with K-Dot. There you go. It is like the Hawk TV saying we might be a district divided on Terry.
Do not people stop. It doesn't need to be the case.
That one was on me. I just wanted to have fun with it.
It doesn't need to be
just
the case.
What the Hawks say.
It sucks. You should want Terry McLaurin on your team.
Of course, we all want Terry on the team.
All I'm saying, look, I said it on the other pod. If it was Vinny Serrato in the front office, if it was Bruce Allen in the front office, Terry has his deal.
Yes,
and
immediately.
That should make you pause. That should make you pause. And there's a chance that, look, and I'll also tell you, Vinny Serrato and Bruce Allen, they also could have fucked this up a lot worse than it is.
Right,
okay? So,
yes.
Right now, what I care about is that I got adults in the building making the right choices for what the future of this team is. And I'm sorry. I love you, Terry McLaurin. You've been on the team for how many years now? 6?
Yeah. 6 years.
Been on the team for 6 years.
7.
Brother, love you to fucking death. You helped us to an NFC championship game in your 5th, 6th year. Adam Peters did in 1. And he drafted the quarterback that threw the fucking footballs to you, and he put the rest of the fucking team together. I'm sorry. I trust his plan. And if in the plan, it's Terry's not in the cards for the number he wants to get for, okay, Adam, let's go.
Yeah. And so this situation, by the way, is unique from a Deebo Samuel situation, from a Brandon Ayuk situation, or from a T. Higgins situation. Because, like K-Dot was saying, Terry was very hurt after, and you could see that. It was visible for anyone to see, right? After the Eastern Motors commercial shoot, and then he had that 32-minute impromptu press conference. Terry is the kind of guy where that's a double-edged sword. He showed that emotion, and that's also what makes him so good on the field, is he plays with that chip on his shoulder, right? He's so like all in on the team and always has been. And that's why he's such a fan favorite, right? But that has bled into the business element here. That has. Objectively, it has, right? So that is, and Vindo saying over here, wide receiver, totally dependent position. Back to Jerry Withers for a moment. We want Terry, but at the end of the day, it's all about the future. That is true. I think that he's important to the now, which helps the future. And then we got Hawk TV going. There are going to be some folks that say pay him whatever because he stayed on the team when we were bad. I have jokingly called it back pay, but like K-Dot was saying a couple episodes ago, we did an analysis on wide receivers that were 29 or 30 years old entering their 6th league year, just like Terry.
Yeah.
6th league year, and how they did 3 years after that season. And then we compared a 29 or 30-year-old wide receiver to 8th year in the league, and then saw their 3 years after. And you could see a noticeable difference between the two based on where Terry fit in each group. It was 5 wide receivers each. Would highly recommend you guys check that out just to see what the differences are. But go ahead, K-Dot.
I'm gonna read you a list.
Okay.
This is according to Fox. I just pulled whatever one because I don't know, the point still remains. This is the top 10 wide receivers of all time.
Okay.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter, Isaac Bruce, Tim Brown, Andre Johnson. How many of them won a Super Bowl?
Said a lot of names. Jerry Rice did. Who's second?
Second is Randy.
Randy never did.
No.
Got to a Super Bowl. Third?
Terrell Owens.
Got to a Super Bowl. 4th?
Didn't win one.
Did not win one.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Got to a Super Bowl. Did not win one.
Didn't win one. Calvin Johnson.
Detroit. Next one. Detroit.
Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
After how long?
But he did. That's 2.
He did.
Go ahead.
You got it. But
yeah, you got it.
But I'll tell you right now, Reggie Wayne was better by then. And Chris Carter?
No.
But no.
Man.
No, I'm sorry. I love Terry. And does he make...
Who were the other 2?
It was Isaac Bruce.
He did.
Show and turf. And Tim Brown.
He did.
Tim Brown?
Yeah.
For who?
Oh, they lost.
Yeah,
it was freaking Tampa.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
No.
They all went to Super Bowls.
I'm not denying that, but I'm saying, look, do I think Tom Brady was better with Randy Moss? Yes, he didn't win a Super Bowl. No one is above winning a Super Bowl. And that's what I want. I want that.
He is going to help you win one.
No, brother. But all right. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I trust Adam Peters to get us there. I trust him.
I agree. Okay, yeah. I agree
and if he's telling me I'm not paying this guy more than this amount of money because it fucks up the trajectory of what I'm trying to do. Do you know what I say? Love you, Terry, but there are some things bigger than this.
Listen, I agree with so much of that. And I agree that Adam Peters is the right man for this job. And I also just here agree to disagree with the guy. I think that this is a mistake if we move on from Terry. That's all. I mean, I could be totally wrong about that, obviously. And I'm used to the dysfunction in an organization. So I'm like, yeah, pay the guy, right? Like, I would be willing to go to that 33 mark. But like 3 years, 90, I do think gets it done. I don't know that Adam will get there.
I'm just saying, you remember, I've been one that says that what happened with the running back position in the NFL, I think it went way too far as what people were saying, as far as the value of the running back. In my opinion, I've always thought that the wide receiver position was the next one. So when I'm seeing what's happening across the league with some of these wide receivers,
we'll answer this in a moment. Please continue, K-Dot.
When I see what's happening across the league as far as all these wide receivers getting paid right now, in my opinion, like if I was GM, I'm like, y'all have lost your goddamn minds. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting it. And here's my thing. And in my opinion, if I'm the GM, and it's not what Adam Peters is saying or he's doing right now, because right now, according to everybody, teams are asking and they're shutting the shit down, which I still think you have to do if you still think there's negotiating, which why there's still a chance of this thing big time.
Yes.
The angle, shit, I think I lost my train of thought.
It's fair. It's an emotional time.
It's no, this shit is just all right, fine. Wide receiver, in my opinion, is one of those positions where if you start looking over the course of the last few years, what's happening increasingly is there are a lot of very young receivers that are having extremely productive seasons.
Yes, that is true.
And in my opinion, it's not a position you can afford to overpay anymore. So if you do have a guy that starts reaching that upper echelon of stuff, in my opinion, if I'm looking at the overall nature of the business, I'm looking to trade him unless he can get in a certain pocket.
Okay, so 3 years, 90, would you view that as an overpay?
Yes, but I thought that but you remember, I thought 30 million. What I remember, 30 million was my spot, if you believe the number that Terry won at 35 and the Commanders were at 25, to me, 30 is what happens in the negotiation to make everybody just enough unhappy to
go right down the middle. Yeah.
But right now, it seems as though the numbers are skewing a little bit. What I'm seeing as far as number 33, 34 for Terry. Commanders are about 25 at max, like maybe 25. So I still 28, 29 to me is a sweet spot now.
And I hope that works. I just want to quickly touch on, because Vindo had asked this question. Isn't he under contract through this season, though? So couldn't they just trade him after the season because he is not going to hold out, right? All right. So good question, first of all. So yes, he is under contract through this season, right? So there would be an expectation, right, that he would play the games. Now, how much he's making this year, I believe, is 18.5. It's different from the cap number, just to be clear. Right. But how much he's making is 18. And that is well under what he should be making, objectively speaking. So he may hold out, right? He may just go, I'm not playing at that number. That is way too low a number. At minimum, give me a raise, and I'll at least play this season out, right? And I think that much should be done. Right. So if you go, okay, look, we're not agreeing on a long-term thing, but can you rock with us one more year? Maybe we can continue it this coming off season because we feel you want to be here. We want you here. Let's give you a raise. Let's kick the can down the road. We would like to keep you. That can happen, but we cannot trade him at the end of the season unless we tag him, which we probably would, and then look for a trade partner. Right. So the thing that may make everyone happy here, if you guys are not going to find agreement on a long-term deal and Terry does actually want to stay here, that is another thing you could do. Just agree to a raise this year and go, hey, let's be in this marriage for one more year and we can sort it out next offseason. If you do it again, then sure, let's talk. But otherwise, and
that's where we go to that other factor. And the reason I bring up look, man, I think you're downplaying it just a little bit, in the sense of what it is. I know I talked about it more than you did. I know I did, but I feel the Eric Bieniemy, Terry McLaurin thing. I think, look, I don't like Eric Bieniemy. So I was never on Eric Bieniemy's side throughout this entire thing. But there's not a part of me during that entire part where I was like, Terry, dog, you're a grown ass man. Like, because a dude told you to shut up, like you shut down basically the rest of the season, like your personality's gone. Like the fuck? Like, like there's a certain level of passive aggressiveness that I don't deal with, right? Like I just can't. Like it's just not who I am. So like I'm much more confrontational if I got a problem compared to, hey, I'm gonna go talk to the media about it, or hey, I'm gonna sulk, or hey, I'm gonna say this, that, and the other. Like I don't love that, and I do think fans are being a little more. Look, the production was there that last season with Eric Bieniemy, but also I think volume meant a lot during that season. There is an element of I didn't like the way that Terry necessarily handled that. I blame Eric Bieniemy for not doing what he needs to do when it comes to his players, but there is not. I will 100% admit there was a part of me that looked at Terry during that time period and was like, "Dog, what are you doing? Like, you can still step up."
Get out. Here's a question: trade him to Miami for Tyreek Hill, and let's go. We do not need this distribution right now. Probably distraction. Only JD5 cannot be traded right now. Everybody else,
that.
Listen. And by the way, just talk about Jaden Daniels' contract. It will go nothing like this. It'll be, here's a blank check. You let us know what you want. We'll do it. He'll be the highest paid quarterback once it's his turn. That's probably. Probably. No, he will.
No, I'm saying probably. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It's like I'm not taking anything for granted. I hope
would you trade? Okay, so like, but looking at this, and
I would not.
Okay,
I don't like Hill.
I think Tyreek's got a year left. So you'd be in a similar situation.
You'd be in a similar situation, but you have Deebo Samuel and maybe one of the guys takes off. You get to pay somebody else. Tyreek Hill's not going to command anywhere near as much money as anybody, even if he does fall the fuck off because he's as old as he is, and he already got paid. So, like, is there somebody? Look, there is nobody out there right now that you can get at a wide receiver position that's going to be able to do what Terry McLaurin does. Period. Let go. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I think Deebo Samuel's a better fit within this offense, yes. But do I think he does the same thing Terry does? No. Do I think he does certain things better than Terry McLaurin does than they were asking Terry McLaurin to do? Yes. But he's still not as good as Terry McLaurin. So, like, there is an angle of look, are we closer to a Super Bowl this year if Terry McLaurin's on the team?
Yes.
If we pay him $30+ million, are we closer to a Super Bowl in year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7? I don't know the answer to that. I think that usually when I follow the trend of teams paying these wide receivers a lot of money, usually you're not going to remain in the dance. So, like, I look at that and I'm like, long term, let's figure out what it is we need to do. And yes, there might be a situation where you have somebody that we love, but it's the business side of this thing. And in the same way, if Terry said right now, the same way, no one buys the injury. He's holding it, right? Mm-hmm. So if he gets to the point where he's holding out, brother, I see what the NFLPA does. I see what the fucking union does. You do what you need to do to secure the bag that you say you want. The Godspeed. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily have to be here.
Yeah, and so okay, you would say
the AJ Brown thing, the compensation in Tennessee, they were fucking stupid. Like,
yeah, Mike Vrabel had a live reaction where he was like, "Oh my god!" And they just cut Treylon Burks, who was the guy they took with that pick.
There is nothing Tennessee did over that course of time that made any sense. Okay, I'm not looking for them ready.
Hey, that's why I like the New England Patriots. Vrabel, just more organized. Franchise.
Yeah, I don't like that organization.
No, but anyway, listen. You had said this, right? That literally just now. Are you closer to winning a Super Bowl with Terry McLaurin this year in year 2? Right?
Yeah.
Yes. With him on the team. But what about year 4? What about year 5? What about year 6, etc.? And so, I agree with the way you're thinking about it. I just put a lot of weight on this year because it's Jaden's second year, and so I'm just illustrating that point. Nothing more. Nothing more.
Okay, but the other thing that I think that here's where maybe everybody in the chat will hate me at this point when I say this.
No, maybe, a lot of people are agreeing with you, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying when I say this thing, maybe you hate me.
I'll let you know.
I don't think this team is in a legitimate Super Bowl window. I think that we got very close. I think that Jaden Daniels
for that. No.
I think Jaden Daniels got us really close. I think Von Miller looks at the situation and sees a Jaden Daniels and looks at everything and be like, seems fun. Seems like they might be in the dance. Fuck yeah, let's go. If this team loses a significant number of games more than they did last year, I can point to any number of reasons why that is legitimately should be the case even. strength of schedule, quarterbacks were playing, fucking all this other guy, no tape on Jaden Daniels, all this sort of shit. This isn't a legitimate team that I'm looking at on paper and saying, oh, they're on the Super Bowl. I'm saying that they're doing that. If I look on paper, what they did with the Laramie Tunsil thing, what they did with the Deebo Samuel thing, that to me weren't Super Bowl or bust moves. Those were, we have a young quarterback and we need a left tackle who is a premier left tackle.
That's establishing the identity of the team.
Right.
That's the physicality we talk about.
Which is what you remember when the Von Miller signing happened. I was like, whoa. I don't think Adam Peters thinks we're in a Super Bowl window. I think Von Miller thinks this is a great spot.
You'd made that distinction.
There's a difference, right? So, like, we are the oldest team in the league from an average age. And you look across this squad, it's not like we got a bunch of fucking Pro Bowls. It's not the Rams team that won the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it's not that, okay? We're not old like them. We're old in the sense of, like, holy shit, is this kid good? Like,
right. Okay, so couple comments to show. And then Mark, we're getting to yours because you have a question. Balaji goes, I agree with you. Our window is the next 2 to 3 years and not necessarily this year. So that's why we should not pay Terry over $30 million per year. A lot of people agreeing with you, K-Dot. And here is what Mark Beretta asks. Do you think this trade request is a play by Terry or by his agent?
If that's a question that needs to be asked, Terry, fire your fucking agent. Like, what are we doing? This shouldn't be the case. And you even floating the theory that, like, you think Terry wants it. Motherfucker, I blame everybody at this point. It's like, get better representation. If you're Terry, get better representation. And if you're the agent, get your client in line. Like, they're supposed to be able to trust you to make these decisions.
Okay, so that's interesting, right? So Buddy Baker, this is far and away his biggest client.
Yeah.
Right? So if Terry's like, hey, I'm going to speak, then I don't think Buddy Baker is about to be like, no, don't do it.
Then that's a problem.
I think he's like, go ahead, which is why maybe Terry needs to find a bigger guy, because then it would be like, don't do that. Like, we have done so many of these negotiations. I'm
sorry, but goddamn, if this Terry, I'm sorry, brother, but if everybody in your camp was just being passive aggressive, look, if it was me and I was Terry Mclaurin, after seeing what I did with the quarterbacks I did, with Eric Bieniemy told me to shut up, you know what I did? Eric, shut your fat ass up. Like, I'm Terry Mclaurin. Like, are you kidding me? That's what you want sometimes. You want a diva at receiver sometimes. Why? Because they'll say the shit that needs to be said, right? Terry's not that dude. He's a good leader. He's a good guy. He doesn't have that diva energy. So when, hey, man, I've done everything the right way. Do you see what I had to deal with? And you guys are saying I'm not worthy of this? What? You're a professional football player, buddy. Like, you don't get dough. You say, hey, I fucking love it here. I want to play here, and I want X amount of dollars. They're not giving it to me, so either you pay me or let me leave. That's right. That's what you do, and you say it fucking directly in everybody's fucking face. Do we wonder what Brandon Ayuk wanted? Nah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, say your shit or don't. And shit, at this fucking particular point in time, Brandon Ayuk wants to fucking get paid. I don't think anybody wants to ask Jay Daniels whether he prefers Brandon Ayuk or Terry McLaurin. This shit might get uncomfortable.
I think this is done by Terry, just to be clear. I think Terry's the one driving the bus, right? So because of what you said earlier, K-Dot, that he was hurt, right? With the Easter Motors thing and showing that. And I think that a lot of this has been driven by emotion. Think about it, right? Okay, so let's entertain the possibility that maybe this is an immature move, right? That Easter Motors thing was an immature move. Hey, it's a negotiation. You talk about it behind the scenes. You don't make it public. That was immature to go. Okay. We got people chiming in from other fan bases now.
It's not fair.
He's not, although it'd be good for your side piece team. What I'll say is this though. So if he's hurt, I think this could be another situation where he's just like, we're still not talking. So now I'm going to do this because I've seen others do it and it works. Like all those guys we mentioned earlier. And if you take it outside of wide receiver, Myles Garrett did it. Lamar Jackson did it. And everyone got their deal. So maybe Terry's like, now we'll talk. We still may not.
It's a bad imitation. And remember, it's not only I have a problem with somebody bringing anything to light, but that's not my major issue with this. My major issue is the same way that I get on the ass of every single one of those teams to start playing with the media and shit when they're trying to when they're not trying to pay somebody, right? When they start using the media, start shitting on the player about how good things are or whatever else, I'm not getting that sense from the team right now. This does not feel like the Dan Snyder thing. This does not feel like any of the temper down fucking Carolina. It doesn't feel like that. I feel as though from a team standpoint, they've been handling this the way that they're supposed to be handling it. That's just me on surface level. My biggest issue with Terry is that he utilized the media to play emotions of a fan base to weigh in on this situation, which might be leverage for your move. But I give shit to the organization if they did that too. And I always give shit to the organization to try to sway the fans one way or another to use leverage against the other person. I am not seeing Washington do that. I did see Terry do that.
Okay,
now, whether or not
hang
it was
on,
legitimate.
You don't think the team's done it a little bit?
No.
The Adam Schefter report and then 2 hours later, Cortland Sutton deal gets announced?
Hold on. The Adam Schefter report on what?
Saying that he thinks he wants considerably more than DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I think that's Terry. I don't think that's the team.
You think Terry is the one that told Adam that?
Terry is in the press conference talking about how what a receiver he is.
Hang on. No, I don't think Terry's the one that told him that.
Oh, hold on, hang on. There is somebody that was it. No, it was it was either JP or Chick asked Terry. As far as the compensation thing, like they asked him about some of the other guys, and they asked him like, "Do you feel as though like?" They asked him about the respect piece of it. And he said that he would feel disrespected if he wasn't making what the top guys make. Now, in my opinion, what that means is that if you're not offering Terry McLaurin 33, 34, 35 million with the top echelon, based on what he said in presser, what he said in the Eastern Motors,
yes,
then he feels outright disrespected. And that to me is like we're dealing in emotions. And to me, it's like it's not from what he said in that presser. Why would it be, based on his words, far removed from saying or laying it out there? I want DK Metcalf money. You know why? Because DK Metcalf's camp will also leak some shit in order for Pittsburgh Steelers to offer a trade or for New England Patriots to offer a trade. Oh, shit. He wants DK money? We don't give a fuck. We'll give DK money.
Hang on. 1 second. No, so actually, I totally disagree here. So my thought when that came out, along with the Cortland Sutton deal, was, oh, okay, this is the team clapping back a little bit, where it is, we're going to put what he wants out there because we need people to see that it is ridiculous that he wants anything near Justin Jefferson. Okay, because this is what we're dealing with. And by the way, we know that this deal is going down. I think Rio Robinson had even mentioned that, Adam Peters used to, I think this is a stretch just to be clear, but that he used to work in Denver. Maybe he still has contacts in Denver. Cortland Sutton's happening. And if Adams as plugged in as he is, he goes, perfect. Let him know. Let Adam know. Put this out there, please. You'll continue having a good relationship with us, that he wants this much money. And then a guy who's the exact same age is going to get something at 4 years, 92. And we're going to go ahead and see how that plays differently. That's what I see. And so that's why I think it's much more on the Commander's side, because like you said, Terry implied what he wanted. It just makes that section believable. I don't think Terry's the one that went to Adam or his representation went to Adam. I think that's the team. And typically Adam's getting the team side of things.
Okay. Let's try to work with your logic on this. Okay.
Okay.
Why does that benefits the team from what purpose? Did you
see the public discourse change?
Right. But I was there when I heard the presser. When I said, and when we came on here, and remember, what we came on here and we talked about was a $35 million number. Where'd that come from? That's before the Adam Schefter thing.
Okay, but I was never at 35.
No, but there was talk, and it was believable based on what he said in the presser. He thinks that he's in the upper echelon. In my opinion, it works out just as well for Terry to let the league know what he wants to make. All right, put it to you this way. Do you think New England would pay him more than DK Metcalf right now?
Yeah.
Then it benefits him.
Of course. But
I'm just saying.
What I am saying is that having that information out there with the timing of the Cortland Sutton deal suggests that that's not a good move.
I don't think the Cortland Sutton deal has anything to do with. I think the Cortland Sutton deal has everything to do with the comparison aspect of we're comparing any wide receiver that makes any money. So we were comparing Garrett Wilson at one point, but right. I don't think the team. There's no waiting for the Cortland Sutton deal to release this leak because the Cortland Sutton deal is coming to light. I don't think they're that calculated.
But the team would absolutely use that. Yeah,
you think the team would do that if it was any other iteration of this team? They have not, under any circumstances, been playing any games with the media. You can't point to anything. We've been able to point to it with every other administration here in this team. We've been able to point to it with every other organization around the league. We have not heard mum shit from this team, even when it might benefit them to leak some shit. They have kept quiet because you know what works better than anything else? You know what works better than anything else? If the quiet is working for you, right? You know what? You don't break it. Because the moment you break it, you fucked everything up. They are working pretty fucking good in silence. And I don't understand. I would not see in year 2 Adam Peters in this particular situation giving that all up. And I'm not blaming Terry. I'm not angry at Terry. If you play, I told you that the reason I think Terry's the receiver is
who gave the info to Adam there. That's all.
Huh?
We're just differing on who gave the info to Adam. That's it.
I don't see it benefiting Adam anywhere near as much as I see it benefiting
I think
Terry.
it's benefited him a whole lot.
I think that if anyone was listening and wasn't emotional about this, would have heard it from Terry in the presser. I thought
I agree. We talked about it.
But that's my point. So why isn't this just more of the same? Why wouldn't it be just more of the same?
Because not everyone put the puzzle pieces together, Kate.
No,
a lot of people.
No shit. Saying, that's my point. That's my point. My point is Terry said, did the motherfuckers not hear me? Did they not hear that I said that I want this thing? No, you know what I need to do? I'm going to leak something else, motherfuckers, because I'm not.
No, I disagree.
And I'm not Mike Evans.
I disagree.
I think it's right now. There's only one person right now that we can absolutely say has gone to the media in any capacity to do anything confirmed because we saw him do it.
Correct.
The other side, we have nothing. Not one.
No, hang on. Right. There are a lot
of gone to the media not once in their entire tenure. Why?
There are a lot of implications. There are a lot of times that we assume, or assumptions, not implications, assumptions. There are a lot of times that we make assumptions about who's putting what out there. Okay. With the national media, specifically guys like Schefter and people that are plugged into the teams and stuff like that, they typically do get stuff from a front office. Okay. They get stuff from the players too, right? But they will also get stuff from a front office, right? So what I'm saying is that, no, we do not have official confirmation, right? We don't. And we never will.
Direction. I'm saying that you don't have a track record of it happening on one end. You have a track record of it happening on the other end. Why are you giving one person the benefit of doubt? It's not emotional. Let's look at logic. Logically, why are you giving one person benefit of doubt other than you like them more? And that's what I'm having with the fan base. I get it. You like Terry McLaurin. You should like Terry McLaurin. We all love Terry McLaurin. We need to stop giving him the benefit of doubt.
What did you say? What did you say Terry's leverage was when he did the Eastern Motorcycle or attempted to get?
I thought he attempted to get fan sympathy.
Right.
That's what I said.
So putting out that number, you're saying that you thought, okay, so let's say Terry gave it to Adam.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. I think Terry releases that number, right? And once again, I think the comparison, as I'm actually putting in here with Hulk, it's the DK Metcalf deal that's the sticking point.
Yes, we have talked about that ad nauseum.
He wants to be paid more than DK Metcalf. And I can understand that from every other standpoint, from a respect thing or whatever it is he wants to. What I'm saying is that we're not Pittsburgh. They overpaid, and we don't need to do that. So we're not doing that. So if Terry wants to compare,
I agree. It's not going to happen.
But that's my thing. I think that Terry, based on everything I've seen, my evidence, my track record with Terry McLaurin is what? The way he acted after Eric Bieniemy chewed him out. What he did in the media when it came to the Chick Hernandez thing, which is he was 2 steps away from just crying in front of the fucking cameras. And then he requests a trade. And the trade request comes through, not team or anything else. It comes from a reporter that I'm sure either Terry McLaurin or his agent has talked to. Right. Right now, what have I seen on the other side? The Jaden Daniels thing. We didn't know who the fuck was going to get picked to quarterback until it happened. Any one of the free agent signs, we didn't even know motherfuckers were.
No, hold on. To be fair, we did have a lot of people say it looks like they're leaning that way.
No doubt.
But that was Schefter. That was Schefter. And that's what ends up happening.
I get it. But even if that particular
buy the jerseys, just pointing it out there.
Yeah, even at that particular point, you could barely go anywhere in the last few weeks without anybody saying it was the only thing that really made sense. Because the Drake May thing looked like a project. Jaden Daniels did what it is that they was doing. And the only other thing was JJ McCarthy, which I will admit, now that I know that Cleveland was looking at him number 1 overall, it makes me a little questionable the JJ McCarthy thing.
Cleveland didn't have number 1 overall.
Cleveland said that Cleveland was talking about trading up. I'm sorry, to try to get JJ. They wanted JJ McCarthy really bad. They had him ranked number 1.
Okay.
Remember, Cleveland full of shit. They're stupid. They had Deshaun Watson. It wasn't gonna fucking work anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
But they had him number 1 on their list apparently, and that makes me question it. The angle of all I'm saying is that, like, look, if you want to believe Terry, feel free. Feel free. I'm just saying I love Terry McLaurin, and I think, and you've heard me even say this when we talked about Terry and like what his ranking is with the league, right? I think that emotionality part of it, I think that chip on the shoulder part of it, I think the same thing that might rub him the wrong way is what makes him a special player. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the tallest. He's not anything along those lines. But what you do get from it is heart. And usually when you get heart from that dude, you got to do with a chip on the shoulder. Sometimes it's disrespect that does it. When you get Tom Brady to constantly write shit about himself in his locker to motivate himself, right? I think Terry comes from a standpoint of motherfuckers don't believe in me. They don't think I'm the guy. You don't think I'm the fucking guy. I'm the fucking guy.
But hang on. But let's walk through this, right? Because I had already walked through the example of, let's say the team was the one that fed the info along with knowing the Cortland Sutton deal is happening. That's an assumption that they knew that was going to happen, right? Timing was great for the team, just to be clear. We could agree the timing was great. So Terry, let's say Terry's the one, or Buddy Baker's the one that talked to Adam and said, hey, we want out there what we're asking for, right? So let's say that's the case. Do you think that they thought it would play out differently? That they would get like, oh, okay. Like, of course Terry deserves that.
Yes.
And they didn't get that.
Yes. I think they are delusional about it as well. But here's the other thing. This is why is why I'm pushing it. The only reason I'm kind of fighting you right now is that what did you say was your cap for Terry McLaurin early on in this offseason?
Oh, earlier in this offseason, 3 years, 100.
There is a delusion that it's happening.
No, because that was the hang on. I still don't think it's a delusion.
I think it's delusional to think the Washington Commanders in their current state are going to pay Terry $33, $34, $35 million a year. I think that's $33 million. I think is ridiculous to ask this team to do that. I think if they do that, there better be some fucking language in that goddamn contract to get yourself out of some shit. Because
there will be, by the way. There'll be regardless
of anything at this particular point in time, right? But to me, that is like when you quoted that number in the beginning of the offseason, and I was like, dude, I think you guys are delusional. I think you're in for a long fucking haul, right? Because that number's not coming back to that, right? And that's where we're at. Terry's in this camp, but to say that he didn't think that people were with him, you were.
Yes,
you were.
No. But still am. I have never veered from that.
That to me is delusional. To pay him more than what to be in the realm of what it is that Pittsburgh gave DK Metcalf to me is stupid. It's not a good choice.
So that's where we differentiate on. Like, listen, what I'm saying is that you view that they overpaid DK Metcalf. Yes.
No, that's not my point, though. My point was direct.
Let's get to a common ground, right?
No,
that's what I'm trying to do.
We're not going to. But
go ahead.
But the point of it was what I'm saying is you think that it wouldn't be a play for Terry McLaurin to do this. What I'm telling you is that I heard from enough fans like you that were willing to basically give him a blank check that he thought
it's not a blank check.
He thought he could leverage this.
I just want you to get what I'm saying correct, and I'm good with it.
Cool. Would you think
it's not a blank check?
Fine. Do you think it's reasonable for Terry McLaurin to make more than DK Metcalf?
Yes.
Got it. Do you think Terry would want to leverage that to put pressure on the team?
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. That's fine. I'm telling you that if the team already knows the number, right? I would assume that number was communicated to the team.
I'm hopeful.
Sure, me too. That there is then no gain by then putting the number out publicly.
For who?
For Terry.
I just pointed out why. I just pointed out why.
It was difficult to understand. But what I'm telling you,
you are a fan. You are a fan right now that exists in Washington, D.C. proper that believes that when Terry says that he should earn $33 million a year are with him. You are right now.
Because you and I.
Hold on. You are.
Can I explain myself? Hold on. Because the reason that I am okay with it is because you and I value the wide receiver market differently.
We're not talking about that.
It is. No, that is because I'm willing to pay a wide receiver. You're not.
Amit, we're talking about whether or not Terry would use the fan base to his benefit. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
You believe that he should get that money. Thus, it would be a move he'd play. That's all I'm saying.
I disagree with that.
It's delusional to think he'd play the move. You are proving my point. You think he deserves $33 million a year. You are part of a fan base that he can leverage. I'm not there.
But by the way, hold on. when the number came out, okay. So, but when the number came out, I was like, that's not smart. That my first instinct wasn't, oh, that's fine. No, because,
no doubt. But that's what we agree on. He's fucking this up. He's fucking it up.
I'm telling you, it would be moronic for him to put that out.
I don't agree. I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't disagree.
I perhaps have a little more faith in the front office, or I'm sorry, in Terry and his agent,
right?
That they would know that it is stupid to put that number out there. Okay. So that's where I'm coming from. But I do know, right? Because you and I both agreed it was stupid to put the number out there if you're Terry.
I think it was stupid.
That guess what? It's super smart for the team to put it out there. Because if it's dumb for Terry to put out there, and you and I agree on that, then it's smart for the team to put it out there.
The only point that I'm trying to make right now, and I think everybody in the comments, please, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, just drop it for me. If I'm full of shit, tell me I'm full of shit. What I'm saying right now,
the read of the Schefter thing. That's it.
No, what we're saying is that I'm saying right now, Amit is in the bag for Terry. I don't deny it. It's okay. Yeah, I just need you to admit. I need you to admit that that's the case. The fact that is that right now what you're trying to do is you're trying to say that Adam Peters of the front office, because you want them to pay him more, would be responsible for leaking the number. I'm saying fine. I'm saying that even if that is the case, there is nothing that has happened that points to that being the case. Right now, what I can say across all lines is Terry did something earlier in this offseason you disagree with anyway that you thought was moronic. Yes?
That I thought was what?
Moronic.
Yeah.
Right. He did a press conference that I thought
was moronic. No. Oh, the press conference. No, I didn't think it was moronic.
But you thought, what did you say that you thought was moronic?
What I thought would be moronic was if he was the one that went to Schefter and said, put this out there about the money that he's asking for. That's what I was saying, not the Eastern Motors thing. Got
it. I'm saying that I disagree with the Eastern Motors thing. I disagree with him in the press conference saying that if he didn't get paid in the upper, because I think somebody actually legitimately said DK Metcalf. And he was like, yeah, I'd feel disrespected if I wasn't in that, but if I wasn't there. And it's like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh God, no. That's what I heard. I heard was like, you are. So when we had the conversation about 35-25, I said 35, maybe it's a negotiation tactic on his part to get to 30, right? That's what I thought. Now, as time goes on, what am I thinking now? I'm thinking that motherfucker actually does outright think he should be making more than DK Metcalf.
Yeah, of course he does.
Okay, not here.
Right. Okay, so here's why I think it was the team just on the puzzle pieces that I had, right?
Yeah.
And I got to say, I think overall, we have both been swinging a hot bat on this thing.
Yeah,
longer than me. You longer than me, for sure.
You're dead on about the 30 mil. You've nailed that number forever.
Okay, but the thing is, so when Schefter came out on the Pat McAfee show, because this is, by the way, for those that don't know, this is what this conversation is stepping on. I'd never mentioned that, so my apologies. But he went on there and he said, I think he wants to make more than DK, and I think that he wants to make considerably more than DK. So a couple things there. I think if it were coming straight from Terry, the very first clue for me was he wouldn't be saying, I think. He would just say, Terry wants more. Right? So with him going, I think, I was like, okay, that's an assumption. He's getting some info. Kate, just bear with me for a moment, please.
I'm listening.
Okay. And then 2 hours later, Courtland Sutton gets a deal, who is an age 29 wide receiver, who has a similar path to Terry, right? Where he doesn't have any consistent quarterback play. He finally gets one in a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, and he gets 4 years, $92 million with $41 million guaranteed, right? 2 hours later.
Yeah.
2 hours later. So when I get the I think from Schefter, right? I go, okay, I don't think that's coming directly from, because then you can remove the I think. And then Courtland Sutton gets paid what he does. And I'm like, both of those are bad news for Terry, the way I view it. And I believe that Terry has earned that money, that 3 years, 100 that I would offer him. Feel free to call it delusional. That's fine. Do so. Continue to do so. But that's why I thought it was the team, is because of the I think and because of the Courtland Sutton deal immediately breaking after that, because neither thing was good for Terry. And if he had an agent worth half of anything, he would have known that.
But that's my point, is that Terry Mclaurin is a grown-ass man who chooses his agent.
Yeah.
Yes. At any given point in time, if he doesn't want his agent, you know what he can do?
You can fire him. Yeah.
Right. Lamar Jackson is represented by who?
Himself.
So at the end of the day, when it comes to Terry McLaurin, anything that's happening as far as this negotiation standpoint that I'm going to blame on his side, I'm going to blame on the fact that it seems like to me this is happening extremely sloppy. Okay,
it's sloppy. I agree. It is sloppy.
There is nothing that I have seen that shows me that Adam Peters and this front office have done a goddamn thing even remotely resembling sloppy. What I am seeing from Terry McLaurin is you almost cried on camera to gain sympathy. Maybe it was legit, maybe it wasn't. But the fact you did it in front of cameras, and the fact that you did it sitting down there with Chick Hernandez and everything, the fact that you had to call, you got to make that call to let people know, yo, I'm gonna be in town for the Eastern Motors thing if you guys want to interview me, and I'm gonna sit down here at the table for you to interview me. That's a move, and the move to me,
that's the move. He made his move
to me, right? And it was fucking stupid. It didn't do anything. All it did was make the fan base.
Something. Yes,
it made people like you upset and sad. And then you came.
But hold on. But that's not why I was like, pay him. I was saying pay him for weeks before.
Not denying that. But what I'm saying is that with Terry, all right, my point is what Terry McLaurin is trying to do is leverage fans like you.
Yeah,
that's what the point is. And now what's happening right now, right? We have a podcast, even though we don't have crazy numbers or anything. We now have a podcast, which is more than most of these motherfuckers that are on Twitter just spouting shit about the Commanders is doing. You are now, we are part of new media now.
Yes, we are
now, our podcast is now officially, to some degree, put pressure on the Commanders and have also, because of me, put pressure on Terry McLaurin to come to the table and get something done. It works as far as the leverage piece.
We're not big enough to do that, but understand.
I'm just saying, it's the concept, right? The concept is everything that Terry's doing doesn't sway me. None of it sways me. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not I love him as a player. I love everything he's done with the Commanders. You know I love Terry McLaurin. You know goddamn well I love
Of course, and I never said you don't.
Right. But my thing is that the love that's happening with this fan base for Terry McLaurin is what he's leveraging. And my problem with it is you guys, because of that love you have,
so 1 second, you
are willing to pay
guys. 1 second.
Yes, I'm saying this district. Yes, I'm sorry, I will admit the district is finally fucking divided. Okay,
no, but hang on. But what I don't appreciate is getting painted in the just pure emotional corner. That's the part I'm confused by.
No. I'm saying that no. If you think I'm not calling you some emotional name, I'm not calling you Terry McLaurin. So what I'm saying is that all I'm saying is that there is a part of the fan base, because of what he means to this team, will say, dude, why don't you just pay him?
Yeah, there will be plenty. And he got those people.
But you're
lumping me in there. And what I'm saying is that looking at people in his data grouping, that he will continue to produce, therefore he is worth it.
Once again, right? But that's not much. Once you keep trying to pivot back to some other shit. All I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, the reason I want him paid. And that he's earned that money. That's where I'm at.
Amit, I don't give a fuck. That's not the point of whether or not he earned the money or not. I'm saying we're looking at the moves that are being done by both sides right now. And what I'm saying is because of how much you love Terry McLaurin and how much you want him to get paid, or completely going beyond the asinine things he's doing to try to get there, up and into including, in my opinion, dropping the number that came out today. Like it's the
number didn't come out today.
The number, whatever the report was that came out that had us fucking talking about this shit and the Cortland fucking Sutton thing, and now he's requesting a trade. All I'm seeing is one guy acting extremely emotionally because he thinks he deserves something. And my point is that what he's doing and the reason he's doing it is to rile up a certain section of the fan base that feel a certain way about him. And that's the point of leverage. The leverage point right now, right, is the team's leverage, Terry's leverage. Terry's only leverage against for the team right now is the fans. And what I'm saying is that if anybody can look at what happened over the course of the last few days or the last few weeks and say, I would say this. If you're looking at the way that Terry's conducted himself and his side and his agents have conducted themselves in the last few weeks, I say I see nothing that would show me.
Yeah, you're giving them zero benefit of the doubt.
Because that's what you're right. They've never, because I have yet to see them do an intelligent thing.
Yeah, okay. So that's where what.
Yes, James. Yes. Absolutely. I am not blaming Terry for using certain aspects of leverage. I think he overplayed his hand because it's a stupid ask. He's not worth more than DK Metcalf.
Okay, right. Okay, so there we differ, right? So I think he's worth more than DK. You go no, not at that price anyway. Okay, so if DK
No!
were getting a
And not
reasonable,
for us. Not for
if
us.
DK
Not
were
for
getting a
us. Not for
reasonable
us.
contract, right? Let's say it was 25 per. Is
Yeah.
Terry worth more than DK?
Yes.
So you have a problem with
If
the
it was
number.
25 mil,
You just have a problem with the number.
that's the point. It's
Right.
the number.
No,
Right
but
now,
you
this
said Terry
offseason-
worth more than DK. So let's
I'm saying Terry's
flesh
not
that
worth
out.
more
Take the
than,
name
all right,
out of
sorry.
it. 33
Terry's
million a
not
year.
worth more. Terry's not worth more than DK's contract that he's currently
There you go.
receiving.
Thank you. Okay, so the big difference, right? So
Sorry. That's
yeah.
the point.
So that's all I'm trying to do is just find where we are.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Do you think Pittsburgh overpaid?
See, that's a good question because that's where.
Because that
No, it is a good question.
Answer.
Listen. Yeah. My job is to be as consistent with folks as possible and be able to do that. So do I think they overpaid? A little. Yeah. I think they overpaid a little. I do think that, yes, it screwed us, right? From the perspective of, especially if we're a team that's like, we do not like the wide receiver market.
Yeah.
Right. Another reason why the team would just be like, dude, this is what he's asking for. Like, we're not fucking doing that. Right. So like, just another point there. They may have overpaid him a little. I think we're in a window where you can afford to overpay him a little if you want to, right? Like you're in Jaden's rookie contract. But here's the difference. I don't really view it as an overpay because of the numbers I saw with the other guys.
Are we talking about Terry? Are we talking about DK?
Terry. Sorry. I switched without saying anything.
Yeah.
So I think DK might be getting overpaid, but I also think Terry's better than DK. And I think Terry is worth what would end up being, by the way, by the end of next offseason, top 15 wide receiver money, because other receivers are going to get paid more. The salary cap's going to increase. Some of them will.
Yeah, I think some
right.
of them
And
will.
so when I view it that way, I'm like, okay, his percentage cap hit is going to keep dropping as it goes up. And we're not saying Jamar Chase. We're not. Well, hold on. I am not saying Jamar Chase.
He might.
I am not saying Justin Jefferson. I am not saying CeeDee Lamb. But when it comes to DK Metcalf, I go, you know what? I get it. The numbers back it. Your future numbers based on what I've seen should back it. So I'm fine with it.
So
that's where I'm at.
During the NFLPA thing, which I don't agree, like the Players Association and the league both fucked this up like crazy as far as
hey guys, like and subscribe, by the way, if you're watching.
Yeah,
that would help a lot. Helps the channel. Anyway, go ahead.
The collusion issue that came through, what ended up happening was there was something about the league, the Players Association were trying to get guys to move into guaranteed contracts. And what ended up happening was you had to have certain players were going to take a stand to do so. Russell Wilson did not. He refused to. He was like, fuck that. I'm getting that to take care of myself. And the idea was the contract that Cleveland gave to Deshaun Watson, which was fully guaranteed, ruined everything for everybody, right? Now, the next person to go and negotiate was Lamar Jackson after the Deshaun Watson thing. And what did everybody say? Well, Deshaun Watson got that. Lamar Jackson's clearly better than Deshaun Watson. He should be getting paid this. And that's what Lamar tried to do, right? And the league and everybody said, fuck off.
Right.
Like, we're not comparing to that contract.
That's why no one tried to trade for him either. Yeah.
Right. That contract's fucking dumb. My point is the DK Metcalf contract that Pittsburgh did is fucking dumb. And the reason it's dumb is that what they did was they got rid of George Pickens, and beyond getting rid of George Pickens, they just hired Aaron Rodgers. Their window is now, okay? And the thing with DK Metcalf being as far as overpaying here for him is that what do you also know about Aaron Rodgers? He ain't going to last more than a year. So you're going to have to draft a quarterback anyway, right? So what would you rather have with your quarterback? A piece of shit wide receiving core or somebody that's worth a damn? You can do that. It's a different thing. But now by that time, we're talking about 2 years removed from that contract getting signed. It makes it easier to do things. Right now in our situation is completely different than Pittsburgh. We should not pay anyone at the wide receiver position what it is that Pittsburgh's paying DK. Our timelines aren't the same. They're just not.
They're not.
And I get what you're saying as far as what you should do when it comes to we have the rookie contract. So if there's anything you need to do, you can overpay now. But my other point is the other point that you make all the time. Deebo Samuel is probably gonna need to get paid too. And if you pay Terry McLaurin DK Metcalf money, right, and Deebo has a better season.
So by the way, in the back of my head, when I agree to Terry's
the number was lower.
What'd you say?
The number was lower in your head.
Oh yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that if I gave Terry 3 years 100, I'm almost certainly not keeping Deebo beyond this year. It's a 1-year rental. Yeah. It is what it is. And actually, the way the team did it makes me think it still could be, just to be clear, because remember they had the choice of extending out that option, right, over the course of 3-4 years, and it would just be 3.25 million against the cap, or just pay it all right fucking now. They paid it now, right? Because it is a prove it year, and if he does it, he'll get paid. If we were to pay Terry McLaurin the DK Metcalf money, or just north of that, it's going to be very, very hard to re-sign him. We probably don't. So I recognize all of that.
Yeah.
Right. So if we can get to 3 years, 28, circling all the way back, if we can get to 3 years, 28, you now have a possibility of having, especially with the cap going up and other receivers getting re-signed, the possibility of getting Debo as well.
All for it.
Right. Right.
All
So from the
for it.
team perspective, I understand them keeping the number low.
Yes.
Yes. Totally.
Okay.
Good.
So who are we rooting for? The team. And my point is that, like, what we can't do is what we.
Yeah. All I'm doing is explaining Terry's perspective, and then I feel he's earned that money.
And I think if Terry thinks he's earned that money, he should go out there in the open market or the open market and go try to figure that shit out.
I think he might. I mean, look at the title of this episode. Yeah,
I think he might too. But that's my point. Is that, like, and look, I welcome it. If the New England Patriots are saying, hey,
appreciate something.
We are willing to pay Terry $35 million a year, unsaid, because we haven't had a wide receiver worth a goddamn since Randy Moss was here. Okay, I ain't counting the white boys. If that is the case, right, motherfucker, you better give me them draft picks. Give me the draft picks, homie. Like, I'm cool with it. It's a trade. It's what it is. And Terry, love you, brother. The business side of thing, go get your money. We still love you, man. We still love you. We'll forever love you. Go roll. But if you're asking my team to say, hey, I like Terry McLaurin so much and I might fuck up my future to do so, nobody. I'm sorry if everybody has, like, short-term memory. Like, if we're only remembering the good times of last year, I remember entirely too many years of absolute fucking abject futility to ever want to go back there. So I'm not doing that shit. I refuse to do that shit, and there's no exception. The only person on this team that basically gets a blank check from me, or I'm like, you know what? I'll hurt myself to do it.
Of course.
You know how much I love Frankie Louvu?
Yeah.
I ain't giving that motherfucking money to
I agree.
Like,
listen, I agree. The only blank check player we have, we're blessed to have one. Not everyone has a blank check player. We got one. Yep. And I agree. And that's why I say that's going to be an easy negotiation. It's what's the highest one getting paid? We're just going to pay you above that. You cool? Cool. Like, that's literally what that negotiation is. That happens time and time again. It's just the way the market works. But my thing,
but you also got to take into account, it's like, look, man, you're in a situation where you look at the rest
Tommy
of the
brings
roster.
up a good point, by the way. He would be 31 when the extension kicks in, right? Not 30, 31.
And that's the point, is like, when you start looking at some of those contracts and the dudes that got paid, and then when the extension kicks in, have to get jettisoned because they haven't done shit. There's a lot of those cases. A lot of Adam Thielen, I think, was one of the last ones to do that shit. And what did Adam Thielen do in Carolina? Not a goddamn thing.
Well, so Bryce Young's girl started dating somebody else, and he just fell apart mentally.
Adam Thielen was kind of falling apart in Minnesota before he went to Carolina.
He was all right in Carolina, by the way.
He was all right, but he was falling apart. I'm saying he just wasn't what he was. He wasn't what he was because he get older and things happen. You give him 60. Look, man,
your 60 is not bad. That'd be great, actually. That would be the ideal.
We can get 2 years 60, fine. I'm just saying. Remember, I just don't think that you can do this and take care. This team is too fucking old, man. It's too old. And the thing with an old team like this is that, like, we need draft picks, number one, and we need to draft guys, right? Okay. But the hope is that some of the dudes that are here are going to get paid, and we need to pay them their second contracts if they worth a damn. And that's my hope. My hope is Adam Peters got these guys right. Trey Amos is going to need to get paid one now. Newton's going to need to get paid soon.
That's okay. Newton's a while from now. Same thing with Jaden, by the way. It's 2 years.
Hold on, but regardless, second contract, third contract.
He'll be gone by the time that contract comes up.
If this team, let's say 2-3 years from now, because Jaden Daniels doing what it is he's doing, right? Sure. And let's say that Bobby Wagner has to retire after next year. Jordan McGee's in. He's not as good as Bobby, but he's working towards it, right? Von Miller's not here anymore. We still got some of the guys on the defensive line, but like Doris Arm, some of the older guys have kind of left or they're jettisoned at certain points, right? There comes a certain point in time where Adam Peters is trying to make up building the roster with some of these vet guys, and that's what he kind of has to do. But you're going to reach a particular point in time if Jaden continues in his trajectory in which you're going to have to make very key free agent signings that are going to cost you a grip to put you over the edge when it comes to the Super Bowl window. So that usually means what? You might get like a top echelon pass rusher. Maybe you go out there and you get a cornerback. that like is gonna do something that you just shut down one side of the field. Maybe you get one of those premier players, right? You want to have the maximum flexibility, and the idea of the front office saying like, hey, we're gonna hit on these picks. We're going to hit on these picks. And after we're going to hit on these picks, we need to make sure we have enough flexibility in order to go out and do this and do that and do this, right?
Yes.
And in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if the trajectory is on the right track, Terry McLaurin should not anywhere near be as important to the franchise as he is for as some of the other things are. And that's where to me, it's the, like, if you're Adam Peters and you say, hey, there's a chance that I signed Terry McLaurin here for this. And yeah, it does absolutely make us better this year. Do I really think we're a Super Bowl contender this year? Not really. Like, do I think that if we sign Terry, like, if I know I'm going to sign Terry, I'm going to be sitting around with a Lombardi trophy, I'm going to do it. But I know there's a chance I'm not going to be able to do it. So there might be some teams out there that might be willing to do something. Maybe I go and I take a look at this. That's like that.
Yeah, but I guess I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't think that trading Terry McLaurin, now the team's magically young, you do get your picks, which will ultimately
no, you won't. No, you won't. My point is
if you trade Terry.
I doubt it. Not when we're talking about potentially. Oh, you're talking about now. I'm talking about later. I'm talking about
right now. Yeah.
I'm saying if you pay him now, you're going to have that last year of that contract, most likely, where he's not producing the same level as other producers. Maybe it's because Jalen Lane has stepped up. Maybe it's because Luke McCaffrey stepped up. Maybe it's whatever. Lord knows what, right? Maybe it's Terry just gets old. Who knows? Various things could happen, right? There ain't no compensation for me then. And I got 2 years of receiver that didn't win me a Super Bowl, but I did love having him in the building.
No, so, like, I think we're just disagreeing on... Well,
we're disagreeing on whether or not we're disagreeing on the importance of Terry McLaurin being on the roster compared to being off the roster when it comes to the future of this team. Yeah. I am of the opinion that having Terry on this, I'm of the opinion that I'm not necessarily, if we get into a Super Bowl this year, I think it'll have to be because we went through a bunch of teams that might have got injured, a la the Detroit Lions.
Sure.
The Philadelphia Eagles have the injury to Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, and maybe that defense is absolutely trash, right?
That there got to be fluctuate. We're hoping ours does.
Right. So, like, I have to have all these things happen. And also, on top of those things, I also have to take into consideration that we made it to the NFC Championship game, one of the easiest schedules in the league. And this schedule is not that this time. Okay. Not close to that this time. Correct. So, if I'm looking at that, looking at the agency and looking at how much I spent, looking at the salary cap, looking at where I've gotten, how far I've gotten with how little I've spent, important to have that flexibility. I'm waiting, if I'm Adam Peters, to spend any of my money significantly until I know I'm truly in that window. And the thing is with Terry McLaurin, I look at that and I'm like, dude, if you were like 2 years younger, slam dunk.
So, right.
But you're not.
That's the age thing.
That's
right. That's why
you push back as
far as I'm okay with it. Right. And so that's the difference.
Right. But then I look at that list that you provided or the list that I could provide as far as the top 10 wide receivers. And there's no denying you might have got production from the motherfucker, but you didn't win Super Bowl.
Right, but I think it's just too lazy a thing to just go, oh, okay, that's a bona fide.
It's not lazy if it's true. It's not lazy if you follow the fucking trend. And the trend is we have data.
We also discussed that a lot of those players are playing during the New England Patriots era, right? And so they shut a lot of teams out.
Yeah, the team that didn't have receivers shut the teams that did have receivers out. Yeah, I agree.
They had the elite tight end, and the year they had the elite wide receiver.
I want elite tight end too, no doubt. I want elite tight end.
They were 18-0 and they lost at the very end. You're right.
And then the following year and everything else.
It's Randy Moss's fault. You're right. It's not. That's all I'm saying.
It's not Randy Moss's fault. All I'm saying is that the importance that we're leveraging on these wide receivers are not what it is. It's not what you think. There are some wide receivers that are just truly that special. I wish that Terry was that guy. I don't think he's that guy. I don't put him in that special category. He's not, as we said, even on the other pod you guys can listen to tomorrow. He ain't Justin Jefferson. He ain't Jamar Chase. He ain't Tyreek Hill in his prime. He ain't those guys. We love him. He's underrated. He might be top 10. He ain't that special. He just ain't.
So, but that's where also on tomorrow's pod, I had said, and this is around the time the trade request broke. I was like, but I do think he could get into the top 5 because we saw what he did this past year. And you said, yeah, right. So we started getting moments once he got quarterback play. We did. We got Cincinnati Monday night. We got Dallas twice. Yeah. We got every playoff game, right? Like he scored in each
117 targets to 64 as a case. There is no chance that the distribution of the football is going to be that way this year. He was the only person worth a damn. You have Deebo Samuel, who you're higher on than I am as far as just from a wide receiver sort of thing, right? And then if I'm also looking at that sort of thing, you both have faith in. Is it something on a list of upcoming?
No, just a list of upcoming receivers in 2020.
Yeah, feel free.
That's fine. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Terry is top 5 in the Oh, James. My take changed when we stopped doing a podcast. So fuck you and your Raiders.
It's a side piece team.
Look, I went hard in the paint for Terry McLaurin because I thought, as I do as a Washingtonian fan, the same way we always do, us these fucking lovable loser assholes that we are, we cape for our fucking guys. These are our fucking dudes, right? They're our dudes. And we've been lovable fucking losers for so goddamn long that we had to turn shit into gold, right? It's why I love me some Chris Cooley. I love me some Clinton Portis. I love me some Santana Moss. And I tell all of you, I'd trade every last one of them motherfuckers for a Lombardi.
You have said that. You have maintained that. Of course.
You don't. Like, and I don't get it.
Wait, I what?
Would you?
Yes.
Would you trade all those memories?
Yeah, if we're winning Super Bowls, yeah.
That's where we're at with Terry.
I'm saying you can get both. Like, I'm saying you can't.
I don't think you can. I think that this is one point is it like
okay,
look, man,
so that's probably the root of it, right? So if we pay Terry, you think we cannot win a Super Bowl?
No, what I'm saying is that I think if we pay Terry, all right, sorry, if we pay
right,
no, you're right. No, you're right. If we pay Terry in our true Super Bowl window, which I think is 2 or 3 years from now, you've just made it harder for yourself.
Okay. And by the way, I understand that take.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think with the salary cap going up, you will have more flexibility than you think to be able to pay guys. And I also think that Jaden, we all believe he is that dude, right? Like we believed it for some time. And he can make a lot of people better. Having a guy like Terry just makes his life easier. And he's already got chemistry with the guy. So I think that you are able to pay a player on offense and still be able to take care of a lot of the pieces on defense and a lot of the other pieces around him. You may not be able to take care of every single one like you would have been able to if you didn't pay Terry, but I still think you have the flexibility to take care of a whole lot of them and more than enough to win a Super Bowl. And if you're drafting well, I don't see the issue, right? Like that's where I'm at. The cap keeps increasing. This contract in a year is going to look fine, in my opinion, and we can agree to disagree there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where my view is, and I see the numbers of other people that his group in the last 25 years he belongs to, and I go, this guy's going to produce. This man is going to produce. So I firmly, truly believe that, and so that's why I'm all right paying that guy. Also, when you factor in the locker room, how important he is, the way the players reacted, even on Sunday when he showed up, I'm with it. But I get the portion of the fan base, which is growing, by the way, that 33 is an overpay. I get it. I do.
That's my thing is I think it's, I hate the fact that like, I know that I'm coming across as a Terry hater. I know that.
No, I don't think you are because you're still willing to pay him 27-28, by the way.
But I think
that's not Terry hating.
But if his number's 33 and you think he deserves 33, it's kind of hating. I mean, he takes that as disrespect.
Well, I think he deserves it, but a lot of people don't. By the way, a lot of people don't.
Not denying that. But what I'm saying is that right now, in Terry's mind, I'm disrespecting him.
Oh, okay, sure. In Terry's mind, yes.
So, like, at the end of the day, there is a sort of angle of, like, I don't want... Do you know how much it sucks to ever come down the side of fucking management on anything?
No, there. I understand. Yeah, of course.
I fucking hate that shit. I'm a true blue union liberal Democrat. All right, like I fucking hate this shit. But I just don't. I'm looking at Terry. I'm like, dog, I get it. I get what you want to go get. It's not gonna happen here. And if you want to come back, remember the first thing that gets dropped in the Cortland Sutton thing is something that I also really fucking hate. Is all the articles that are announced the Cortland Sutton deal are saying Cortland took a team-friendly deal to make sure they could go and sign.
Oh, is that what it said? I just saw the number and just went,
well, you're saying it. They're all saying it, and everyone fucking knows that. Right? Yep. And so, like, that's where. So, here's the thing: if you were telling me that, like, it might have been a plant because of that angle of the story, I might have been with you. But there is an angle of, like, I always hate that. This is not some shit where, for the betterment of anything, you're supposed to get paid. The Super Bowl of it all, or me as the fan base, it's the organization. I get it from a player standpoint, but what should be more important to you, and that's why I'll agree with anybody like Cam Newton. What's more important than a Super Bowl or anything else is to get your fucking money. All right? You're sacrificing your life. Get your fucking money. You're earned it. Go do that shit. Earn whatever it is you want. Maybe money's not that important to you, but I'm saying like prioritize you on what it is you need. Okay. And I think money for these guys a lot of times is the thing that makes the fucking difference. Get your fucking money. I will never blame Terry McLaurin for going out there and trying to get what it is that he deserves. Do I think that he's being a little delulu in the sense of that DK Metcalf deal? Yes. Do I think he's being a little delulu in the sense that he thinks that we're in the position to do that in the sense of overpaying for him the way that Pittsburgh overpaid for DK? Yes. And I'm not there with you, buddy. And if you take that as disrespect, not just that we're separate, but disrespect, then yeah, I'm thoroughly not on your side.
So that's fine. And so I just wrote down why pay Terry, because I was like, you know what, maybe I'm a bit scrambled and I'm not making myself abundantly clear.
I think you're major. Here's the thing. Before you read it, and I don't want it to speak for. I think that you have done an amazing job throughout this entire process of saying the reasons you think Terry McLaurin is important for this team. And I don't think that anyone with any modicum of intelligence could disagree with you on the positives that Terry McLaurin brings to this team. Fuck the field. Fuck the field.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Fuck the field. What he does in the locker room alone is fucking awesome. It's great. It's fucking great. It ain't $33 million. Great.
Okay. So hang on. So that's why I wrote this down. Because I've got 3 points.
Okay.
None of which are the locker room.
Hey.
By the way. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this now. I just need to pull it up so that I can read it because it's getting a bit dark in here. All right. So the first one is JD5 development. Okay. So I've said a few times on this live stream, and then you will hear it on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Do check that out. Like and subscribe, please. Greatly helps us out. That when you are a rookie quarterback, sophomore quarterback, it is very, very important that if you are in a privileged enough position to have 2 straight excellent years, and Jaden has that possibility, you do anything and everything you can to make that possible, right? Allowing wide receiver 1 to stay and be in a satisfied place, that's part of it. Okay. So if 33 is feeling high, I go, yeah, under most circumstances. If we didn't have a quarterback, I'm not paying Terry 33. That's a waste of money.
Yeah.
All right. But we have this guy that we think can be a superstar, maybe even the best quarterback in the league. I'll be quiet about what I truly think. But maybe we have something like that. Well, I'm going to do everything I can for his second year to just be damn good.
Yeah.
Right. Because then I'm like, okay, now the window for years 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are wide open. And I'm okay overpaying. Let's say it's an overpay a little bit to make that possible. Right. With the first 2 years being what it is. 2, I think a Super Bowl is possible right now. Right. If you have Terry McLaurin. And so I think that signing him, if you think of it as an overpay, once again, so be it. But we agree we're a better team with Terry than without Terry. And having Debo and Terry, when I think back to an NFC Championship game, if we could magically have the current pieces, I feel way, way more confident about that now. Finally, he's earned it. I know not many people saw the analysis I did. I believe in that. And I believe that his best years are still to come because the tread on the tires thing, I think, is true. So he is entering year 7. If he's getting 3 years and that $100 million that I keep proposing and saying that I would do, it won't, just to be clear. I guarantee you, I would bet my life savings we do not get to 3 years 100. If it gets done, I think it's 390. I think that's where we're at now. But I think he has earned that money because I believe he will continue to be productive over these next 2-3 years. And if he's not productive in that third final year of his deal, I was talking to Mikey Drohan about this. Shout out. Charge it to the game. Is what it is. Fine. You overpaid for that final year. But I don't care because number 1 was the most important thing to me, which was JD5's development. So that's why I don't care if, let's say, it's bad the final year, because I got Jaden Daniels now, who is now established himself as forget a top 4, it's a top 5, and he's not 5. Like, that's what we're looking at here. This year is so important for Jaden. Like, that's my main driver. It's so important for Jaden, and I think the guys earned the fucking money.
I'm like, man, you made 3 points. I'm just gonna quickly.
Yeah.
Jaden's development. I'm sorry, but everything I've seen and heard from John Keim and everybody else about the way that Jalen's commanding the huddle, the way that Jalen Lane's taking a step up, the way that Luke McCaffrey looks, the way that these wide receivers in this core looks. There was a case right now where it was today that Jaden kicked somebody out of the huddle for not.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Brooks. Yeah.
Right. In my opinion, if Terry McLaurin's there, Terry McLaurin's probably the dude that does that. If somebody's not taking it seriously, he's the one to do that. To me, as far as Jaden's development goes, it is extremely important for him to face not only adversity, which is rare for him to fucking face nowadays. I've been searching for it, right? And outside of adversity is to take the next step as far as from a locker room leadership thing. You said on the pod that everybody should listen to tomorrow. It's not that the confidence is now there. It's the fact that he's showing it. There's a thing, which is wonderful. And the idea that Jaden, who's been like the rock solid guy, and maybe like, hey, I'm going to lead by example sort of thing, is now going a step above in the sense of, hey, not only am I that guy, I'm going to hold you fuckers accountable to some shit. That to me is huge.
Yes,
as far as the development goes. But what I'm saying is the Jaden to me is the piece. He's the piece.
Yes.
Terry McLaurin is a wonderful addition to said piece, right? And yes, I do feel better about the way the team is built if he still has a Terry McLaurin to get to. Do I think that the team, the way it's built right now, beats Philadelphia in that game? No. So like
So I think it might.
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah.
But that's the idea right now to me is that like the adversity that Jalen faces might be better for his development.
And I'm fine. If I could just interject, I am fine with that right now. But once the games are played.
No, I think I also think that that's the case as well.
That's what I'm talking about. Once the games are played, I need them.
I used to get in it for a very long time about a dude that I'm not usually about to talk. I don't usually talk about here on any public forum, but Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I used to get on people about Aaron Rodgers because I thought he was a piece of shit leader. Now I've been proven right; he's a piece of shit leader,
big time.
But one of the things that I always had a problem with Aaron Rodgers was the fact that you couldn't develop receivers with him. He made you feel like a piece of shit, right? You could never build a camaraderie with anybody with him, right? And the thing that I saw last year with Terry McLaurin with the 117 targets compared to everybody else on there, and look, give Terry props. Everybody was kind of pointing at him anyway, and he did it anyway, right? He did it. But I see that Terry McLaurin season is a lot more to do with what Jaden was able to do. And I think that Jaden can elevate those that are around him to a certain degree. And I'd like to see some other guys going. That being said, is this team better next year with Terry McLaurin? Yes. Do I want to see Terry McLaurin in the Burgundy Gold for the rest of his career? Yes. Are there guys that come across that I want to see finish their careers here? Yes. I wanted it for Ryan Kerrigan. I wanted it for Brandon Scherf. Well, not necessarily Brandon Scherf, but I wanted it for Ryan Kerrigan. Sure, I wanted it for LeVar Arrington. I wanted it for a lot of
players in the past we've wanted this for, of course.
Yeah. Right. And you know what happens?
There will be more. And there will be more. And this might be one of them.
Right. And you know what? I spent all these years in fucking futility. And right now I got a dude who just took me. Look, I think the other thing would be is that like I think the grand scheme of this
85% pay raise, but go ahead.
I think the grand scheme of this, and this is where I think we can, like you're in a relationship with somebody and like you get in an argument about the trash, but it's not about the trash.
Yeah.
It's an underlying thing.
I've definitely been there.
The underlying thing is this. I trust Adam Peters more than I trust Terry, and you trust Terry more than you trust Adam.
In this, well, hang on. So I trust Adam.
I'm not saying you don't. I said more.
For
just
this particular situation?
Just saying more.
Oh, I trust Adam more.
Do you?
Yes.
So regardless
of what I said last episode,
I get
not
it.
the one coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think he's done a magnificent job.
Agreed.
He continues to do one.
But
that I think that this situation he's getting wrong. That's all.
Right. And that's my thing, is that Adam Peters to me has done nothing, in my opinion, as of right now, to ever say that he's been wrong about everything. It's worked out. And I got him on an NFC Championship game. He picked the quarterback that you like, and I get that. And he was right about that. He shouldn't have listened to my black ass as far as who it is. He should have drafted number one.
Well, who knows? I'm just playing.
Fair enough. No, fair enough.
Go ahead.
It's totally fair. It's totally fucking fair. All right. Your point number 2 is you think the Super Bowl is a possibility right now.
Yes.
I think if it happens, it could happen. It absolutely could. Anything could happen, right? But I think it falls in the anything could happen category, not the we're the level of the Baltimore Ravens or Philadelphia Eagles, and we are truly vying for it.
Yeah, so we'll have a slight difference in current roster evaluation there. Yes.
Right. And well, the wild card to me is the Jaden piece. Of course, Jaden rewrites everything, right? But and that goes even further to me is like, I need you to face adversity, son. I need you to have things not go your way, and I need to see how that works. And then the third piece is you earned it, and like. To me, the you earned it piece is the death knell of every front office ever.
Mm-hmm.
That is that like if you ever say those words as a GM, you're fucking.
Wait, hold on. Adam's not about to say that. Just to be clear.
But I'm saying you're listing it as one of the reasons to do it, or a pro. I'm saying if you ever get into the category where you're saying, hey,
well, I mean, for example, I'd be like, Jaden, he's earned it, right? Like, yes.
Yeah, look, man, if it wasn't for rookie contract scales, you'd already pay Jaden Daniels more money than anybody's ever made in the National Football League.
There you go. Oh, no. Well, yeah, also true.
There you go, Vindo. I agree. And you know what I can say about anybody that's worn a burgundy and gold? They ain't win a goddamn thing. No
back
one
in 91,
is
we did have a team history episode. We've won
if we're at jeopardy of fucking cutting Joe Washington or fucking Mark Rippon, let me know. All right.
Man, Joe Washington was a dog, huh?
Look, man, I love this team. We all love this team. We love this team for 30 years.
We've been live for 100 minutes because we love this team.
You should be willing. It all. Look, man, here's the thing. The other thing with this fan base, I know we ain't on the same page. My priority above all of the priorities is I want to be able to go to Constitution Avenue and be there to see my fucking team on those goddamn buses and floats while I'm drunk off my fucking
Do you think
ass.
It's a major overpay for Terry? If we did 3 years, 90. Because that's right. You and I are on the same page, right? That about 28 to 30 million, it seems to be that sweet spot.
28 to 30 million is a sweet spot for me. But you want to know something?
Do you think it would be an overpay? Like a massive one? Like changes the cap. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. No, I think you're dead on. Here's where I'll get in trouble. And here's where you should turn on me. If you're in the audience, you should turn on me for saying this. Whatever Adam Peters decides to do, I think is the right choice.
Okay. No, by the way, the in Adam we trust is something we regularly say.
I'm dead set.
Actually, you're the one that stayed the course there. And I'm going here. I disagree with Adam.
The only time I disagree with Adam is something that you convinced me of, which was the Marshawn Lattimore trade.
Hang on. One more time on the Marshawn Lattimore.
I'm joking.
Okay, guys, not everyone knows that. I just said this is where we turned into a win now team.
I think there's something, but once again, you look at the Marshawn Lattimore thing, and I think it's along the lines of the Laremy Tunsil thing, which is like secondary was sucking ass. Here's the guy that's available that we didn't think was available. Go get him. You just made yourself better on paper. Right. I get it. It was a necessity. If we didn't have Marshawn Lattimore, even though it was fucking terrible.
So James, does this affect friend of the show, by the way, shout out. How much would you give him, knowing that he's currently
his desperate ass is willing to pay Terry Mclaurin $45 million a year? Okay, that's what they're dealing with over there in Vegas. All right, they want somebody for Gino.
You believe?
I get it, but I also don't have the baggage he has, and I've let mine go.
Oh, hey, appreciate that, Mark. Thoroughly. That's
they like when the district's divided.
I was actually trying to click on full disclosure. I was trying to click on Godspeed's comment, and then this one came in right at the top. Thoroughly appreciate that. Here's what Godspeed said. They'd pay that 28 anyway if they tagged him next year. I think it's 30 next year. By the way, if they tagged him, but you could be right. I'm doing a lot of this is from memory, so I could be wrong.
Look, man, everybody at this particular point in time, that is not affecting anyone ever. Ask your fucking Mavericks, you piece of shit. Like at the end of that.
So the 3 years, 90 is where we were at, right? Like, do we feel that's an overpay enough that it would affect the Super Bowl window?
Potentially.
Okay.
My thing is the Deebo Samuel trade, I think, changed some things in my brain as far as when I'm looking at this. Like, I watch the All-22 all the time, right? And like the way that they were using Terry most of the time was not even in a way I necessarily agree with. It was just they didn't have anybody else to do anything. So you remember, like, we would talk about, like, dude, just give Terry the fucking football somewhere around the line of scrimmage. Just fucking do it, right?
Yeah, just give it to him. Yeah.
Would you rather see Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel do this?
Deebo.
All right. Now we talk about, like, deep threat. No doubt. His ability to track a football, I don't think there might not be anybody in the league better than that, right?
Track one, Mossum. Like, yeah, both.
I'm not going to go Mossum, but tracking.
That's contested catch rate.
You know, but the contested catch rate to me, it has a lot more to do. I don't see, he's not usually pulling the fucking football away from people. It's,
Dallas is pretty dope, huh?
I get it, but
yeah, sure.
But what he usually is able to do is track the ball better than almost any defensive back or anybody else can do and come down with it, right?
Absolutely.
No doubt. But that's the thing. Contested catches. I look at Jalen Lane and I say, son,
doesn't need to be contested
because
you're flying.
Yeah,
I get it.
Right?
I get it.
I look at Noah Brown, I'm like, you know what, dog? You might be able to wrestle a football away from somebody, right? Because you got the physicality to fucking do it.
DPI
like,
beast.
I look at Terry McLaurin as the everyman. He's the ultimate everyman. He doesn't do anything particularly spectacular other than his effort. Godspeed, brother. I love that shit. I love that you can be the person that doesn't have the tools and still make it anyway. That speaks to your character. That is a great thing. But I think I can replicate a lot of what you do and a lot of other guys. Not the
right. Okay. Oh, so that's going to be the big difference, right? Like, so that what he is able to do in terms of physical traits is replicable.
But that's
correct?
my point. But that's my point when it comes to the money, is that I look at that money, right, and I say, you can't do what Jefferson does. You can't do what Chase does.
No, but this live stream has been super useful because we've definitely talked about it. But now I think we're hitting on every angle why you wouldn't pay him the DK money.
Because I don't think he's particularly great at anything except for tracking the football, which counts. It counts. But what you're doing, no doubt. But what you're also doing is when you're looking at Terry McLaurin, the other thing you have to do, and this is the reason I thought about the Bradley Beal thing, you have to compare him to everyone else that was in the room.
Yeah,
they sucked.
By the way, but I do think and I will always with Bradley Beal bring up game 2 against the Boston Celtics. He air balls wide open, and that's a playoff game. You know who doesn't? Terry McLaurin shows up in the playoffs.
The Bradley Beal point to me is not that he wasn't the top banana or whatever. Like, we already know all that shit. And it wasn't that he wasn't clutch. That wasn't the point. The point with the Bradley Beal thing for me was, you got a guy that you love and you want to believe in because he's been with you for so long. And maybe he's shown flashes of this, that, and the other. No one's bigger than the direction.
No one's bigger than that. No one is bigger than that.
So all I'm saying is that if Adam Peters has a plan and Terry's like, fuck your plan, I want this and I earn this and I deserve this. I'm Adam Peters. I'm like, dog.
Here, no. Tell you what, let me put it this way. If this conversation were around Deron Payne, right? And by the way, it's unspoken right now, but the moves we've made are so that we don't have to extend Deron Payne. Hasn't been said yet, but it's true.
It's kind of, yeah.
Eddie Goldman, it's a 1-year deal. Javon Kinlaw, 3 years, and we drafted Johnny Newton. The fuck you think's going to happen? Like, that's what that is, because you're not going to pay him that elite money. Jonathan Allen already gone, right? Like, that is something that's already happening. If this conversation were around Deron Payne, right? My Jaden Daniels development piece is totally irrelevant. So I go in Adam we trust here. It's different with the guy that Jaden throws to more than anybody else.
Okay. That's my thing. I think you're fundamentally wrong.
That's fine. We can disagree on that.
I'm just going off of track records and shit that I've seen in the league, man. It's like,
you are using his recent historical data, in fact. Yeah.
No, I'm using I'm using what it is I think is the recipe to win. And like, to me, Deron Payne to me and what it is he does for the defense in the sense of what he can do for Elephant End. And if he plays up, like when he plays contract year Deron Payne play.
He's unreal at that, huh?
If Deron Payne plays at consistently at the level that I've seen him get to, that is more valuable to this team than Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
But my thing is, like, I don't think anybody should be able to dispute that.
Oh, there are going to be a lot of people that dispute
that. Get it.
But we could all be wrong and you could be right.
Upper echelon interior defensive lineman is more important than your wide receiver. It's just, they are right now.
And we've drafted one in Johnny Newton, and our big signing in free agency, not trade, free agency, was Javon Kinlaw. Yeah. Right. So like, I think that we're already potentially making those moves.
I'm with you, and I do think that there. But you were saying that you were comparing the Deron Payne to Terry McLaurin. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying,
I was
like. Yeah. Do I think they're gonna actually pay Deron Payne? Probably not. But there's like the unless the motherfucker look like Aaron Donald out this bitch.
Correct.
Like,
if he turns into Aaron Donald, it's a different conversation.
And once again, never mind. Sorry, he's never been Aaron Donald. But the upper echelon of like what I've seen from him, if he gives me that, all right, cool. Let's have a conversation about this. But but that's my thing is like, there are fundamental things that we're going to disagree on when it comes to this. Between Terry and Adam Peters, I think to some degree. There's also, like I've been on the record. You've heard me say it year after year for the last few years. I think wide receivers vastly
You have
overvalued
always
right now in the
maintained that.
National.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's too dependent on the quarterback. And I get it. You got him. It's great. But here's the thing. If your offensive line's not where you fucking need to be, if your defensive line's not where you need to be, if your secondary's not where you need to be, then I don't give a fuck who that wide receiver is.
Right. And so then I look at, man, you guys also need to check out Brett Coleman's video on contracts and void years and stuff like that, because the Philadelphia Eagles are somehow paying everybody, and they're paying 2 wide receivers, but they're also paying the offensive line. They're also paying the defense. They did lose some on defense, by the way. They did lose some on defense.
That is something that actually, I'm not in the habit of giving Yacht Bitch any credit, but I will say this: during that time period, they did have some of the best cap guys in the business. The problem, no one wanted to come here.
So, but my point being that you can pay a wide receiver. And again, for me, more than anything, more than a Super Bowl this year, it is the JD5 development with them. It's just, you get me 2 excellent years of Jaden. Thank you very much. We can honestly depart at that point because now the guy's certified. That's it. Like, no, really. I mean, I just think it's that important. Mahomes' first 2 years, he let the league on fire when he finally came in and lost in the AFC Championship game and then wins the Super Bowl, right? And he had Tyreek Hill both years and Travis Kelce both years. And then they moved on from Tyreek. Like, you could do that. And I believe Jaden is Mahomesian. Like, I believe he is that level. Right. So let's do the same thing. We got their blueprint, right?
How was Tyreek Hill when Patrick Mahomes was coming through?
It's not right, but in terms of production,
it's not the same thing. Stop. You're not comparing the same thing. It's not. It's a totally different thing.
I'm not saying Terry's Tyreek.
Almond, if Terry was 2 years younger, it's not a discussion anymore. You can't compare those things anymore.
I'm looking at this year. That's all I'm looking at. Year 2.
Terry's not trying to get paid for one season. He's trying to get a new contract.
Right.
The contract goes beyond this year. That's what you're agreeing to. And that's that's the problem. That's why Adam Peters isn't coughing all of the fucking money. That's the point.
He's not coughing it up because of age and because the wide receiver value is too high right now.
Right. So what I'm saying is what you're looking at as far as Super Bowl windows, where it is to Jaden is and where it is to Terry is, it don't line up to a lot of the other things you're saying as far as the guys that you pay at 30 years old. It's not the same. And you're not going to find a lot of track record of a dude that comes in the league at a certain age and goes on to be a perennial fucking Super Bowl contender with a 30-year-old receiver. It'll work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I want it to. I'd love for Terry to be here for 5 years and we win a Super Bowl every fucking year. It's not what the track record says. Yes, you will show me receivers time after time. Have there been receivers past the age of 30 or 32 that have been productive members of the league? Yes, absolutely.
At year 6.
Huh?
At year 6.
Yes. How many of them win Super Bowls?
Donald Driver, Marvin Harrison, out of the group I had.
Yep. Marvin Harrison played with Peyton Manning ever since 1998. Keep going. They won a Super Bowl in 2008.
Donald Driver.
Donald Driver.
Look, if you want to go through each one and be like, this is why they won the Super Bowl and these were the exact conditions that you don't possess right now, you can do that. That's fine.
My point is to find anyone. Here's my point.
Yeah.
Find a track record with any sort of situation which a GM is going to pay a guy like Terry McLaurin in this particular situation with a quarterback that's coming off the second year and show me a track record for success. I'm more than willing to think outside the box.
No, but this is obviously a unique contract situation. We've talked about this.
Right. But what I'm saying is...
So I cannot find this situation.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is that...
we don't know if it doesn't work. Because I can't find this situation.
Yeah. But you know what does work? Jettisoning a motherfucker.
Well,
I got that.
Tennessee jettison.
I got that.
Jettison. You're
right. I got that in spades.
You're right. Raiders jettison. James knows all about that.
They're the fucking Raiders.
Yeah, no, they are the Raiders. But yeah, we just agree to disagree on that portion of it. 100%. I think you could pay Terry $390. 3 years, 90.
Come on, Mahomes won the Super Bowl. I get it, Kelsey. Totally get it, Kelsey. And we don't have a Kelsey. I understand that. Tom didn't have a guy. Deion Branch? He's the greatest. Can't compare him to that. That's okay. Fine. You don't do that. Like, you can look across all these different scenarios and all these different situations. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I love Terry McLaurin, and I love to see him in the building. I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers did a stupid thing with what it is they did to DK Metcalf. But I also think a stupid thing is hiring Aaron Rodgers. Now, they are desperate for Aaron Rodgers to throw the football.
They just want to win a playoff game, just to be clear. It's not Super Bowl or bust over there. They haven't won a playoff game in 8 years, 9 years.
No,
it's true. It's true. They got the 7 seed and they get whacked. That's it. They want to win a playoff game.
I'm not entirely sure what Pittsburgh's motivation is.
I'm telling you, they want to win a playoff game.
I can see that too, but I know the quarterback class was weak this last year, so they weren't trying to do anything completely major, right? But to me, it's like the difference between rolling back in with Russell Wilson or Justin Fields compared to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I do what they did. So, like, at the end of the day, they go get Aaron Rodgers. Now they're desperate. And now you got, since Seattle's in the situation where they're like, we just hired a new head coach.
Well, they did the DK thing before, just to be clear.
Fair enough. Everyone knew what was happening.
Okay, but they did before. We're making assumptions here, I'm
saying everyone knew what was happening. Everyone knew what was going to happen. So, like, it was only whether or not Aaron was going to be a fucking dickhead, right? Like, everybody knew that that's where it was going. Pittsburgh's entire offseason is basically built around the fact that they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. Like, we all knew what was going to fucking happen. There are tons. Look, yeah, I love what the Hawk is saying. Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to a business angle of this stuff. And when you see some of the most successful franchises, the ones that win in and win out, this is where they make tough decisions. There are so many cases of the New England Patriots cutting somebody, and everybody's like, why'd you do that? And they win a Super Bowl. There are cases of the Philadelphia Eagles. The last few years, Harry cuts motherfuckers, and people are like, what? Well, what? No, we got the pipeline, baby. Keep it moving.
I just think it's insane to think if we give Terry McLaurin 3 years, $90 million, that we have screwed our Super Bowl window.
It's about exceptions to the rule. It's about what you're saying right now is that you think, I don't look at Terry McLaurin and say that he's worth more than DK Metcalf.
Right.
What you're saying is, if I don't believe that, and if Adam Peters doesn't believe that, you still think, because of what Terry's done for the organization, what he means for Jaden Daniels, I have to do it anyway.
No.
Or that I should do it anyway. I should do it.
Yeah, I'm saying that he's worth that money, but you don't have to pay him that money. And that's still get somewhere without it.
But my point is that if you are a GM trying to set in place what it is you are going to do going forward, you're not making exceptions to the rule. And the exception to the rule is not going to be, I care that much about what you mean to the quarterback. You know what I'm telling my quarterback? Step it the fuck up and be a leader and make sure some of these other receivers can get what it is they need to do. And you know what I think about Jaden Daniels? I think Jaden Daniels would be the first one to tell you to your face, I would love Terry McLaurin to be here. Why wouldn't I want Terry McLaurin to be here? But he ain't. So you know who I'm playing with? Jalen Lane and the rest of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Listen.
That's all I care about. That's all I care about. I care about that part of it. And I do think there is an angle of adversity for Jaden early on in his career, which he hasn't really faced yet. Like, he faced it in college when it came to the ASU thing, to this, and that, and the other. Remember, I've been waiting for him to have a bad game. He's had subpar games, but he was hurt.
He's had a couple tough practices because the defense is playing better. Because Terry's
it's got to be better than practice, man. Like, I got to see. So,
but
my thing, but what we also know about Jaden is that, like, adversity makes him better.
Yeah, adversity makes him better. I'm just saying, can we minimize risk for the second year?
I don't think it's as risky as you think.
Maybe not. But I think removing wide receiver one is a very interesting decision. That's all.
Look, here's what I will say. Oh, and you know what? Here, perfect point. This one. The only thing I will give you, no doubt, that I am getting on Adam Peters about is the fact that I don't think he saw this coming.
Right.
That's a problem for me.
Right. So, okay, AP already has paid free agents and trades to win this year. What does that mean? First question.
Well, number one, hang on. All right. Sorry.
Right. Because you said this was good. So,
win
this year.
Hang on. I did pull that up for a reason, but not the reason that I was going to point something out that was incorrect in a certain way, but whatever. All right, fine. I'll cut through this first.
Yeah.
So the reason
people to win now.
Caprica 6. The guys that have come in the building as of right now, I think have a lot less to do with a win now mentality than you think. Here's what I know. I saw, because I watched the All-22, Jaden Daniels, and some situations, especially near the end of the season in those playoffs, running for his motherfucking life, right? Brandon Coleman is a project at left tackle. You had an opportunity to go put in a left tackle that you don't have to think about. There's no development. There's no worry about what it is he could do on the field. There's none of that shit. You got him. You did it. I don't give a fuck where you are in your rung on the Super Bowl. You need to have that guy. Deebo Samuel. I've been on pay. I'm telling you guys, I like Terry McLaurin a lot. What Cliff Kingsbury likes to do on an offense, Terry does not excel at any one of the things that I would most likely look for in the characteristics of somebody outside of heart and work ethic.
Got the wide receiver screen against the Lions, outraced Kirby Joseph.
And every single fucking one of us would rather have Deebo Samuel running that route.
Yeah, but Terry did it. And he
not tonight. Right again. You want to talk about the shit that happened. I'm talking about going for it. We'd all prefer Deebo Samuel to have that fucking route. Yeah. Okay? That's my point. On an end around, do we want Terry or do we want Jalen Lane? I think I want Jalen Lane. Right?
He's a rookie. We don't know yet.
But from a speed standpoint, is he probably faster?
Sure. I would assume so.
Right. So what I'm saying is that, like, right now, where the way I'm looking at the Deebo Samuel thing, the reason I love the Deebo Samuel thing is that looking at a Cliff Kingsbury offense, he's the perfect player for what it is you're trying to do. You tried to kind of do it with Austin Eckler, but he ain't quite that anymore. He had some good moments, but you need somebody that's going to be more consistent catching football and be able to run these things. Deebo Samuel is it. It's why I'm so high on the Deebo Samuel thing. I wasn't high on him in the sense of where we're talking about X or Z receiver, right? Because I don't think he's that guy. But as far as what he'll be able to do with the ball in his hands, well beyond, and I think this would be fucking awesome, right? There are certain things that I'm looking at when it comes to the building of the team or whatever, right? And I'm looking at Terry McLaurin. I'm like, dude, you're great. You're fucking awesome. And you are absolutely a good mainstay and a reason that we made it as far as we did last year. And you know what else I can say? We didn't win the fucking Super Bowl. And at the end of the day, Jaden Daniels, get it. And Jaden Daniels is more important than you. And he's going to be here a lot longer than you have been.
Oh my God.
But my point, but
that's fine.
But
listen, so you're saying a whole lot. You're saying a whole lot. Boil it down to a point, which is what's your highest willingness to pay for Jaden for Terry? And if it's beyond that, what do you want to do?
You just told me to shut up very nicely. You know, I don't like white man voodoo, passive aggressive bullshit.
First off, I'm brown. Secondly, but
you're engaging in the white man's
an hour and a half out of the. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, fair enough. But at the end of the day, what ends up happening with this entire situation is some fans, like the guy who's sitting across from me on the screen right now, are butthurt because they're missing the guy. And at the end of the day, I care more about what's happening with the future of the fucking franchise. And if the upper echelon of what it is I would pay Terry McLaurin is whatever Adam Peters decides he should pay Terry McLaurin. That's my answer.
Okay, so whatever Adam's number is your number.
Yes, because it's part of the fucking plan.
Okay. So mine is still, it's not going to be 3 years, 100. I think he's earned 3 years, 100. I think that if this gets done, 3 years, 90, if the team offers it, I'm good with it, right? Like, I think that is something Terry should take, by the way, 3 years, 90.
Yeah.
If he doesn't take 3 years, 90, then, oh, thank you, James. I really appreciate that. This right here. Cool.
What?
Great. That's huge.
What?
And
you
so.
Put yourself in his boat? You want to be on a boat with him?
I appreciate that, James.
You want to be on a boat with him?
So 3 years, 90 is where, like, I'm like, man, if the team was trying to save $3 million because they went 3 years, 87, let's say, and this didn't get done, I would be disappointed. I'd be like, okay. So that's where I stand. And I am more than happy to disagree with Adam Peters and be wrong about it. If we end up trading Terry McLaurin, I'll see what we get back. If we get like 2 firsts, I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting, huh? Like, you know, it really depends on what we end up getting back. We wouldn't get 2 firsts, just to be clear. But yeah, I'm more than happy to be wrong on this. I am in disagreement with Adam Peters if we end up trading him or not offering him 3 years, 90. That is where I stand. It is now on YouTube forever. That's where I'm at.
Hey, look, man.
No, I'm not. Oh, so Hawk TV, are you fully guaranteeing the 90? No, I'm not. No, I'm guaranteeing the first 2 years. Yeah.
You're not that crazy. You're crazy,
right.
But you're not that crazy.
Right. So I'm still within a degree of reason.
Yeah, because you were willing to give him fucking $45 million 2 months ago.
I was never. Okay, go ahead.
No, what was your number? What was your I think you said 38. I think we were being hyperbolic.
3 years, 100. We were being hyperbolic. I was like, I love the guy. Yeah.
That's just, look, man, at the end, like, the thing that sucks about this entire thing is because I do think at the end of the day, yeah.
Did you say this? Get up.
I don't remember it, but I also remember that I used to do a podcast with these two.
Oh, right.
I used to just say shit. So whatever. Hey, Keem, go enjoy Charlotte, you bum. At the end of the day, when it comes down to this particular situation, I think the thing that hurts the most is the fact that it's like, I don't think this should be something that divides a fan base. I really don't. I don't think it should divide a fan base. I mean, right now, me and you talking, it definitely divided us, at least for this fucking podcast. But the end of the day,
I think we just needed to find the common ground. That was it.
But the thing, I think the common ground is we both want that team to succeed the best way that they possibly can.
And we have different approaches to it, right? So, like, I go Terry at 3 years, 90. Is the team succeeding? And
Yeah.
you're going that, well, it depends on Adam Peters' number. That's what you're subscribing to. But it would then be, no, that, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? 3 years, 90 for Terry. I'm going, I am going like, this is good for the long-term future of the team. I think it's a good contract. 3 years, 90 for Terry McLaurin, because I think he's going to end up producing through those years.
Beyond that.
Right. Whereas, let's say Adam offered 3 years, 84. You would land in, I agree with Adam. I'm not paying more for that because I believe in the long-term future of the 3-year 84. Terry did not take it. We move on from Terry. That's it.
Okay, there was a question I posed to you. I think it was like 3 episodes ago. We talked about Terry, every fucking episode?
We have. Yeah. And been nailing it, just to be clear. We're swinging a hot bat. We've been saying that a few times.
Like, as much as motherfuckers want to tune in right now, got jokes and shit. You go back into the Rolodex.
The last 2 episodes in particular, oh my Lord, swinging a hot bat here. Yeah.
I actually just like 3 episodes ago. If the numbers do get revealed, what's the threshold as far as the dollar amount, the years and the dollar amount per year in which you blame Adam or you blame Terry for the situation? Like, you're going to say, what the fuck? Just do that. Is it the 3 years, $690 million? Is that the line?
That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where it's at. If the team doesn't get to 3 years, 90, I'm going to be like, oh, I believe we made a mistake. And if the team does do 3 years, 90, and Terry says, no, I'm going to go, dude, you hit the 30 million mark. That's the elite money mark. You did it. Right? Like, and look, I know age is real. I would discount it just because of the I value years in the league more, but I would go, look, man, like, they're not doing that. You got 3 years, 90, and you said no. I would just be floored, and I would be pissed with Terry. Then I'd be like, you really are just trying to get as much money as you possibly fucking can. You said you're not going to break up the team chemistry, and here you are saying no to 3 years, 90?
Whoa, see, that's goddamn. Like,
no, I'm telling you, like, I think we're a lot closer than you think.
Like, but that's, I think the difference is the look, and this is not, I'm really not trying to fight when I say this. I'm not trying to fight you when I say this.
We have, by the way, I have not viewed this as fighting.
No, me neither.
We're trying to understand your point.
No, we literally want to do this more. You guys love it. So like
well, that is true. I did say that to you.
So like at the end of the day, I do think there is an please.
Big help.
I think the big difference between me and you is the emotionality behind the decision making in this particular situation. I do think that there is an element of I think there's a cavalierness that I'm speaking of the situation that you can't get there with, and I get it.
Okay, define cavalierness for me.
I think that I'm speaking a little cold about Terry, maybe colder than some people would. I think I'm colder about Terry than even I want to be at this particular point in time. And I think the only reason I'm doing that is because I think I'm trying to match
speaking from a logical standpoint. Like,
but I think, right. But I'm trying to match my logic with like your emotionality in some sort of way. Right. And sort of like just kind of get there with you. But this, like,
I'm just trying to figure. So all I'm trying to figure out, K-Dot, is where you feel my emotionality is.
I think even the way you just said that, as far as from the Terry standpoint, is like, if you found out that Terry was doing X or didn't agree to X number, the level of vitriol and betrayal at which you just spoke to sounds like it's personal.
That's to illustrate. No, that would be to illustrate to the audience just how like dumb I would think that is.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
I guess says no to 3 years, 90. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. See ya. Like that's what it would be. There's nothing I can do about that. Right. Like, so I'm just explaining from my side.
Yeah.
If I saw that offer, I would just be like,
you're
an idiot.
And
you just turned down the best offer you were going to get.
And I think the difference between me and you is that I do believe that the $33 to $35 million is a true thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's what,
I think 33 is real. And I think maybe even close to 34.
But I think that he's at that number, and I think he thinks he's at the lower end of that number. And I think he thinks that if you don't meet that number, you're disrespecting him. And that's where I disagree with you.
Oh, hold on one second. A couple of things. I was reading this, and I want to hear what you said one more time, K-Dot. AP seems a little non-committal. I wonder if Terry would take 2 years, 65, 66. That's what Godspeed's saying. I think so. And Hawk TV chiming in.
He's Drake. I'm legitimately K-Dot.
You are K-Dot. I have to be Drake, which is very, very annoying, just to be clear. But the battle here is Kendrick dropping some stuff and Drake, kind of similar to it. Just be like, wait, what are you saying? Like, I just want to understand what you're saying. And you're like, no, you. But like,
look, man, I do believe. Look, and that's my thing. Is it like
so
right? But if you think
said,
but if you think he's at 33 with me, like you
I
think
think
he's probably there.
I think he's yes. Right. So thank
Do
you
you
for
think
getting me
he's
back
being
on track.
dumb? Like that's my. You think he's being stupid?
No, I don't think. Okay, hang on. So I think that in his head, DK Metcalf got what he got.
Yeah.
Overpay or not, he got what he got.
Yes.
Terry McLaurin, feel I'm
What's
better
that?
than him.
Yep.
I was in the same draft class as him.
Mhm.
I've outproduced him.
No doubt.
I'm on the same team. I finally got a quarterback. I put up monster numbers. So give me that number. Right?
Yep.
That's fair. And hey, if you want to give 34, that's fine. 35 is where I'm like, okay, that's crazy. That's why when Adam Schefter came out with his thing saying, I think this is what he wants, and then Courtland Sutton's deal dropping, I was like, I don't think Terry said that. But if he did, let's entertain yours. It's super dumb. It's just super dumb. Right? So that's, yes, I'm in that 33-34 range, which is what Lake Lewis reported, 32 to 34 reported. That's what he thinks.
Right, but you still think that if he got offered 3 years, 30 million, he's stupid. It'd be dumb for him not to take it.
Considering it's the negotiation, absolutely, yes.
Right. So this is what I'm saying is like a huge difference between me and you is that I look at everything.
Appreciate it, Hawk. That's true.
Oh no, you were talking about Hawk. You ain't got to
the
make
situation as a whole.
Hawk, you do not have to make it feel better. It's okay. Sorry.
Oh, this is to make you feel better.
What? Referring to the magnitude of the situation? No, that's for you. You don't want to be called
you,
Drake,
dude. You
don't want to be called Drake. I get it.
No. I listen. I do hate that.
I know.
It's about you. Anyway, go ahead.
About me.
It's about you. I need to start pointing this way when I want you.
Yeah, I know. That's
no. Anyway, go ahead. I keep getting that wrong. Anyway, go ahead.
I think that there is a frustration, I think, on my part with the benefit of doubt that you're trying to give to Terry when everything that I've seen Terry do points in one direction. It makes all the sense in the world to me. It's like the Eastern Motors presser with what he said there in that day compared to what it is I was seeing about the $35 million. It was like, as soon as I saw those two things, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's right.
If I could just for a sec. So when I saw the Eastern Motors thing, I was like, okay, he's appealing to the fan base. To a T, like, right? He's trying to hit all the emotional notes. He's trying to say, I feel disrespected. We haven't talked in a month. It's like, oh my God, we haven't talked in a month. Like, I'm like, that's, like, that's the emotion, right? It's like, we haven't talked. We haven't even talked. It's Terry McLaurin. We haven't even talked. So where I'm departing, right? And thinking that Adam Schefter saying, I think he wants more than DK. I think he wants considerably more than DK is that
Schefter.
Doesn't, what'd you say?
Adam Schefter, not Peters. Schefter.
I'm sorry. I meant Adam Schefter. With Adam Schefter saying, I think he wants more than DK. I think he wants considerably more than DK.
Yeah.
That to me, maybe they were just that stupid. Maybe. But that is not I'm going to get the fans on my side thing.
Like I don't think it's that anymore. But that's why I'm saying that report comes out
right
in conjunction with what we just saw.
But all I'm seeing
he
Terry
requested a trade. That
right.
we're done with all this. He requested a trade. That's the final straw. The reason you request the trade is so you can go get your DK money. What you do by telling somebody that that's where you're at is for other teams around the league to say, we'll pay that. Oh, call Adam Peters.
So there I disagree. So I think
requesting a trade.
No, I understand. So I understand that. So I'm trying to formulate the thought just to make it as clear as possible. So that number coming out in conjunction, I think it's very important that the Courtland Sutton deal came out at the same time. I think if it didn't, then I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, maybe he was an idiot and he did that. But because it came out and it is a guy that's the exact same age, basically, and the guy's earning 24 a year, that was like, oh shit. And that was what, 2 days ago? Is that right?
The Sutton deal? I thought it was yesterday. Well,
was it just yesterday?
I thought it was. I might be
wrong. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, so maybe it was just yesterday. But within the last 2 days that happens, I think that him requesting a trade is just, okay, that's the new info. And the team is going, we're not going past a certain number right now. And Terry goes, okay, well then I request a trade and I want that out there because you guys are now using the Cortland Sutton thing against me. You're not going past a certain number. I'm feeling that disrespect.
Okay. I just think that I think the road that you're going down would make an exception to the majority of the way that these contracts things usually work out when it comes to a holdout, which is that everything that's happened so far is usually something that happens. The only thing that's a little different was the Eastern Motors piece where Terry himself tried to appeal to the fan base in an emotional way on TV.
Yeah, I agree.
So everything else kind of falls in line. You can compare it to the Brandon Ayuk thing. You compare it to other things. What we usually see is a situation in which a player wants this particular dollar amount.
Hey, by the way, shout out Nathan Bear. I just read this. Love you, buddy. Sorry, guys. Terry, you're
we do love you, Nathan.
And we love you, man. And congrats again on that 4.5-year run. Absolutely phenomenal.
Hell of a
and
run.
Anytime you want to come on, please do. And please keep hanging out right now. K-Dot, back to your point. So I just saw that. And it's a big day for them, too.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Yeah.
There. What the fuck was I saying? I don't even remember.
I did. My bad.
You're fine. I've been just rambling any fucking way. Everything else is kind of works the same way. It's why after the Eastern Motors thing, even though I felt he made a mistake, I was kind of like, yeah, this kind of sounds the way a contract negotiation sounds like, right? Like the request of the trade. Brandon Ayuk wanted to go. There's a ton of guys that have said they wanted to go. There are also a ton of times where it gets leaked about how much a dude wants to make, and the reason you leak it is to advertise for the teams around the league.
Okay, so
it's not why that happens. It's not why it happens. It happens to advertise for the other teams to say I meet that number. It's not for the fans.
Why don't we ask people? People are watching right now. So, like, do you guys think that when Adam Schefter said, "I think that Terry wants this amount greater than DK or considerably more"? I'm curious, actually. Do you think that was Terry and his agent giving that info to Adam? Do you think it was the team?
Because it was a but that's my point, is that the move on the Eastern Motors thing, miscalculation. It didn't work the way you wanted it to. The fan base did not feel, the fan base was frustrated because they wanted something done. But I did not see everybody in droves on Terry's side getting angry at Adam Peters. They were just like, let's get this shit done. So like, and now, right now with this particular thing, I don't think anybody, I think that they're the same.
I want to make sure I heard you correctly. So after the Eastern Motors thing, you felt the sentiment. I'm on Twitter a lot, by the way, like on this stuff. So, so I feel like I've got a pretty strong pulse on at least a good chunk of the fan base, or the active ones, the diehards.
Well, I don't know if you want to go on Twitter to do that, but okay.
Okay, fair. Well, okay, yeah. I see. Anyway,
what's your take on the name?
Yeah, that's a good point.
How many of those guys would prefer the name change to the Super Bowl?
Oh, I know.
Who are we arguing?
That's a good point. But no, hang on. This is what happens when we're live for 2 hours and 17 minutes.
It's fucking hard. My phone is blowing up. Everybody's angry at me that I'm not picking up.
Well, we'll wrap up shortly. But what I was gonna say was, man, I completely lost it. What were we just talking about?
Oh, we're fucking tired.
No, we are. But hold on, I want to get this right.
I was talking about the fact that I do believe it was Terry's camp to leak the number.
Oh, right. Okay, Terry's camp to leak the number. Right. So,
but here's the other thing. I'm not necessarily. Here's the other part of this. I just got to make sure it's caveat before you say what you're going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't even necessarily think it's Terry and his team going to Adam Schefter and be like, hey, you need to release a number like this. I think it's those guys talking to Adam Schefter and not saying, don't say this, or off the record, or this, that, or the other. You're talking when you shouldn't be talking. That's my point. And the talking when you shouldn't be talking is because on every level, you want to know that there are teams out there that be willing to pay what it is you want to pay. That to me is the final straw. It's a very, very costly move on their part, in the sense of teams around the league to say, well, we're not going to fucking do that. Or there could be the number. And the thing is, at the end of the day, because nobody's outright said it, it's all plausible deniability anyway, right? If they come back with Terry McLaurin and he gets $31 million a year, $29 million a year, or $30 million a year, it's all water under the bridge. Who gives a shit, right? He agreed to what he agreed to. Nobody knows where'd that fucking article about the DK Metcalf thing come from? It doesn't fucking matter. But I think that there is still a significant portion of the fan base that even when they hear the DK number, think that he should be paid more than DK. You're one of them. And I do think that is something he's trying to leverage. I just think that it is a miscalculation. I think the same way he thought more fans were going to be up in arms with him being emotional on that TV is a miscalculation. I just think it's more of the same thing. That's it.
But the really interesting thread, now I'm remembering, is that the real interesting thread that I wanted to pull on for a moment is that when these numbers get leaked, it is players' side, right? And so I think that when public perception can be swayed, right? Because Terry's play was public perception.
Yeah.
Even when he ends his holdout, comes in, it's for the fans. It's more like that kind of playing to the emotional side of things once again, right? I love the fans. My beef is not with you, he even says, right? So like, but there is beef, right? Therefore, so my beef is not with you, so he signs the autographs and stuff like that. Those two plays, the Easter Motors thing and signing autographs at every practice that fans are at is.
Or was that parking lot in Ashburn for the photo?
What'd you say?
I saw it when he was in Ashburn.
Oh yeah, doing the yoga, like, stayed nearby, like from a PR perspective, he's doing everything he can to get the fans on his side.
Yes.
Right. Releasing the number just doesn't line up with that. Right. That's one. Two, and we've talked ad nauseum about it. I'll let you.
But once again, I do think it does. But that's my thing. Is it like,
and you think it's a miscalculation?
Thing is that we keep arguing that same point. The only point that I'm making as far as that is that you are a fan of the team. Yes. You think he should be paid more than DK Metcalf?
I think he's earned more than DK Metcalf.
Do you think you're alone?
No.
Then it's something to calculate. Whether or not it's the right move,
but hang on. But when the number came out, I knew that was stupid.
I thought, but when the Eastern Motors thing happened and he was appealing, he brought it public. I said that I thought it was stupid. You kind of agreed.
Got it. So you go, just another stupid thing you did.
Why wouldn't I think that?
No. That makes sense.
That's my point.
I hate up because I already thought the first thing was stupid. So this is even dumber. Right?
Yeah, I think he's leveraged. I think he's using his leverage really, really shittily.
Your job is your credit, Hawk. Come on.
Don't go to Eastern Motors buy a car. Just watch their commercials on YouTube. Don't do it.
Okay, no, but now I understand why you think it was player side.
That's what I've been saying.
No, but I didn't understand that piece. That's all.
All I'm saying is that this is I don't like Bubba Baker and what he's doing with Terry. Whether or not he's in over his head or not, I think I don't blame agents. I blame players for choosing said agent.
Right.
That's where I go with that.
So, but moving forward, by the way, this is super important for our conversations, you and me. Like when numbers come out that don't favor the player. Okay. So when numbers come out that do not favor the player from a logical standpoint, I am more inclined to think the team is talking to a guy like Adam Schefter. Right.
I know.
You are thinking it's the player more often than not.
I think that,
or the player's side.
It happens both ways. There's no getting around it. It happens both ways. Yeah. I'm saying that it happens either way. What I'm also saying is I've seen teams bungle this completely at times.
So my only other question is, because you also said this, there's no reason to think that our team did that. Do you think our team with the new front office has ever done that?
No.
Okay. That's all.
I mean, not yet. Maybe they do at some point, but I don't think so yet. And the thing is that if I'm looking across the league, the franchises that I've always talked about that I wanted to be like are the ones that do shit like this. They don't fuck it up. Like how many times do you hear about the Baltimore thing? Even with how shitty the Lamar Jackson situation was, they still managed to keep that shit in house, right? Like there is a certain element of certain things that just kind of work. I hit the town.
Yeah.
That's
sorry. Here, keep it on longer.
Yeah, my bad. It's the how do you think? I think everybody feels shitty when you get kicked to the fucking curb by somebody that was like that picked you, that drafted you, or whatever.
Yeah,
but I also think if you make more money somewhere else, it probably covers those tears a bit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you even said it too. It's like, hey, if you pay me what was it, $100 million, you can disrespect the shit out of me. I don't care. You can slap me.
And my grand point with Terry, above all other things, is that I do not fault Terry McLaurin if he thinks he's worth $35 million. I don't fault him if he thinks he's worth $50 million. It's a matter of what it is he's willing to do to go get that money. And if he wants to request a trade, I don't take it personally at all. Go get your money. If there's somebody out there that's willing to pay you that amount, go do it. I think, as you think, New England probably be one of those teams. Go do it.
Yeah, Raiders would be another team.
Right. Go do it. Go do it. I just say that, hey, while I'd love to be in a situation to pay you what it is Godspeed. Like, my thing is, while I would love our team, I would adore our team to be in what I consider is in my opinion, if it was something that the team considered it was easy to do, it'd be done. It'd be done. Or at least it'd be done with a little less fanfare than might be happening right now. Although, I'm not even going to say that. Whether or not the team wants to get it done, I think is up to the team, I think, is holding the cards at this particular point in time. About
They
whether or
have
not
all
can
the
get it done.
leverage, just to
Of
be
course
clear.
they do. And I think Terry's trying to scrounge that up. And the only leverage he really has in this particular situation is to sit the fuck out. And like, you can do that. And once again, I think it's a miscalculation. You're betting against Jaden, but
We'll see.
He could, but I want to see if
Chris
the team
Jones
is not
bet
in a
against
place to do
Mahomes
that.
and won in that opener against the Detroit Lions. He sat out
Yeah,
that
it was a
game,
defensive
and then all of a
tackle,
sudden he
not
got
a
a deal. You know,
Yeah,
it was
I know.
a risk.
Defensive lineman, not a fucking wide receiver. I know. Big deal. There,
Travis Kelce didn't play either.
didn't help. So like there is
Just say you got his deal.
look, if it gets done, I do think it's because I don't think Adam Peters is going to make the decision. I don't know if you like this or not. There's a part of me that just appreciates right now that we have somebody that's thinking through it.
Yes, I do. I appreciate it.
And as much as I feel for Terry in the sense of, dude, you started here, you sacrificed so much. Lord knows he might not be able to name all the quarterbacks that don't want fucking football at this point.
He actually can. It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I think he's been a constant professional, all this, that, and the other, right? But if you think you need to get paid a certain amount and it's not in what it is the team's plan is long term, it's what it is.
And
like,
that's what he's got to decide. That is what he has to decide because as the Commanders maintain the leverage, which is why I'm not sure they get to 3 years 90, right? As long as they maintain the leverage, this becomes the question. If it's 3 years 84, which is about 28 million per, which maybe the team doesn't even get to that, by the way. Like if it is, let's say 3 years 84 or 3 years 81, and they go, Terry, you can either take this and be part of the Washington Commanders, or we can honor your trade request and, we'll look for a place where you feel you can get what you deserve. Terry's got to decide. All right, well, do I want this amount? Or can we at least up it a little bit with a raise or something like that? You negotiate one more time. Or am I gone? He doesn't have leverage. I recognize that. When I did the data stuff, that was purely to show
the 30-year-old thing is bullshit.
No, that there's more nuance to it.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think you're right. I think you're dead on right.
Right. And so my point there was he is worth that money. That was it. That he's going to produce into the future as well. On the tread on tires thing. But it's probably not going to get there. So he's got to decide.
All right.
That's where it is.
Let's wrap up. But
let's wrap.
All right, that's the final thing. Do you think a deal gets done?
The very moment, take a moment.
Yeah.
The moment I heard Adam Peters' presser, I concluded that whole thing with, I'm very, very worried. I think this drags until September. I'm not sure a deal gets done. I'm going to repeat that line. So it's a toss-up, man. I think if I had to put percentages, 55% yes, 45% no, but it's close. What about you?
I think a deal gets done.
You think a deal gets done? If you threw percentages on it, what would you think?
I'm still around 60, I think. Like, I still don't think enough communication has happened. I do think it's on one side more than it's on the other side. And I also do
agree with that.
And I also think that there is I think the number comes back around 28, 29, and the guarantees are high. And if you can get the number down like 26, 27, and maybe a fourth year. But like there is an element of, in my opinion, because if you talk about the fourth year at 27 million, that's a good deal for the team going forward for a bit, right? If he's going to be producing.
Yeah. A fourth year is interesting because then he's going to be 35.
I didn't go that far.
Even I didn't go that far.
Totally understand. You front load a 4-year contract. You pump it full of guarantees and all sorts of shit. And you look at that last year and you end up Adam Thielen in him if need be, if somebody's desperate enough for him and whatever. Look, at the end of the day, I do think it does get done. And I do believe that Terry McLaurin's at a number in which when the rest of the league kind of looks at it or whatever, I do think that there are one or two teams that are going to be able to make it happen, but I don't necessarily know if they have the compensation to make it work for less. And if that's not going to be the case, I don't think Adam Peters is in a rush to do something that's not going to benefit us in the long term. And if that means that Terry needs to sit his ass out a year, which I don't think he will, then that might be the case.
And this was the live stream from District Divided, a DC Sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys very much. 23 of you still watching. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It makes a huge difference to us. And K-Dot, straight to you.
Share this shit, man. I'm tired. Like usually I do a whole rap and shit. Like, yeah, we do a lot. If you're just tuning in, we do a lot over here. And we need your help, and we need you to share it all. This gospel, this art that we are creating. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole new fucking banger of an episode coming out tomorrow. Some of it's a little obsolete, but you get to see Amit in real time reacting to the
that's true. That's true. And even if you joined us late, I stumbled through the intro of this because I was just like, oh my God, here we are. So that's true. We did have Ref the District fans come through. We greatly appreciate that. And shout out to them one more time. Awesome 4.5-year run. And who knows? Hopefully they come back because the Commanders podcast space is much better with Ref the District than without it. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. when that episode comes out. Once again, around the hour mark, I think, is when the live reaction happens during the comment mailbag, one of the first comments. So if you want to just skip to that, you're welcome to. But yeah, let's see what happens. So until then, take it easy, everybody.
Bye.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.